It's WFUV New York, public media from Fordham University. Come for the music, stay for the community. Listen at 90.7 FM or at WFUV.org.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to another edition of One on One. It's Saturday, November 15th, and we are here for New York's longest running sports call-in show in the WFUV studios at the beautiful Rose Hill campus in the Bronx. I'm Louis Andrade. I'm joined by Kay Cox, Ari Patel. We got Derek Bollier, I pronounced it right, behind the board producing for us, and Travis Hayden, video producing. He made some great graphics for us today. Even though it's a cold Saturday morning, I'm glad to be here with you guys, and we got a good show ahead of us. So, there are many things going on in the world of sports right now, especially for New York. The Giants just fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. I hate to see him go after a demoralizing loss to the Bears last week. The Jets unfortunately lost against the Patriots on Thursday Night Football against Drake May in May. The Knicks are heating up, but unfortunately they lost Brunson and they had a great win against the Heat last night. We'll talk about that. The Mets are at the bottom of the East with one win. Not much to talk about there, but we'll still touch on them. Good news for Gotham FC in the National Women's Soccer League. Face off against the Orlando Pride in the semifinals for the championship tomorrow afternoon. And tonight at Madison Square Garden, UFC 322 will be hosted. For sports outside of New York, the NFL and college football seasons are past the half-point mark, and things are starting to ramp up for that, and the NBA is in full swing of things. Before we get to any of that, I just want to get a vibe in the room, How are we feeling? Kate?
Good. It's a lovely Saturday morning. I hope to leave here at 2 and see the sun. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of cold and dreary this morning. But I'd love to see that, but always glad to be in the studio, especially on a Saturday.
Yeah, it was a cold and dreary morning this morning. I can't lie, but excited to be here. We're going to have a good show.
Yeah, I kind of had this little thing planned out. I told you guys, obviously, before the show, but my GOAT, who's possibly going to be the best Yankee to ever do it if he keeps this up, Aaron Judge won MVP. And also in the NL, Shohei Ohtani won unanimously his MVP. And this kind of sparked a debate, especially for people like you, Kate, who had a problem with Cal O'Reilly losing. And I kind of want to get your guys' opinion on that. What is it? Is it the award for the most valuable player or the best performing player?
Well, I think they're giving the award for the highest performing player and the best player in the league. But based off of the name, it should be the most valuable player to a team. We've had this discussion on one-on-one before, had this debate of what it means to be the MVP. And yes, Judge was the best player in the American League overall. But Cal had a historic year. He did something no catcher has ever done. He completely blew it out of the water, and he had a year that no one would have expected him to have coming off of the last few years. And so to me, that just means he stood out and should have been MVP. And looking at the vote tallies, it was pretty close. Judge had 355 points and Cal had 335 points because Judge got 17 first place votes and 13 second place, and then Cal got 13 first place, 17 second place. Generally close. I do believe that based purely on statistics, that Judge deserved to win that, if we're looking at best player. But if we're looking at the most valuable player to their team, if the Yankees lost Aaron Judge, they would be fine. If the Mariners lost Cal Riley, they would not be fine.
I don't know about that, especially this postseason where Judge is usually known for not showing up. This is the one postseason he showed up and he really showed I can be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else disappeared. And that's kind of why the Yankees had that really early exit against the Blue Jays,
Mm-hmm.
which the Blue Jays were phenomenal. So I can't really be too mad at that. But I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I feel like Cal O'Reilly, he kind of had the media behind him, and I feel Judge being on the Yankees.
Well, he had the media behind him because he was doing something.
He was. I'm not going to
blowing
discredit him.
completely out of the
That
water,
was the
doing
best season
something
as a
so
catcher.
different. Exactly.
Best season as a catcher
That's
ever,
why he had the
hands down.
media behind him.
But at the end of the day, if you take Judge away from the Yankees are going to miss the postseason completely. And I can say the same thing for Cal Raleigh, but they still have Julio Rodriguez. They have Randy Arozarena.
Right,
They have an amazing rotation.
Right, but we can say way more for the Yankees than we can say for the Mariners of their stacked rotation.
I don't know about that, but I want to get Ari. I feel like I'm leaving you out here.
All good. Yeah, I agree. I think it's called the most valuable awards. You would think it would be given to the most valuable player, but I think really it's in years past it's been given to the best performing player, which is just an interesting debate. And I think it should be the most valuable player, not the best performing player.
I'm pretty sure I saw Max Langer walk in. I want to kind of, if you give me a thumbs up or anything, is he there? Yeah, Max. I want Max to hear about this. I want to get his opinion also when we step out later. But people are talking about bringing an offensive player of the year into the MLB, and I kind of agree with that because I feel like Cal, he should get the recognition because he honestly had a wonderful. I think that's gonna be. I don't think there's gonna be anyone better than him. Put a better season than him as a catcher,
Yeah.
ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Like 60 home runs, switch hitter too. As much as I love Judge, I would still want to see Cal get his recognition that he deserves for like his wonderful season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, Judge was the best player overall in the American League. I'm not going to dispute that. But looking at it, I view this, and it hasn't been treated as such in recent years, but I view this award as the most valuable player to a team. And that kind of leads to also the National League. Like, Schwarber and Ohtani. Like, was Schwarber more valuable to... Obviously, Ohtani's a completely different level. But if you take Ohtani away from the Dodgers are still insanely good. Like, you could take him away, and they're still probably winning the World Series. So, it's like, oh, Schwarber helped them out. The Phillies out a lot on a different level. So he deserves to be also in the conversation a little bit more. I feel like everyone knew Ohtani's winning. But also, Schwarber should have gotten a little bit more recognition, I think. I don't think he should have won it, but I do think it shouldn't have... Like, I wouldn't have thought it would be a unanimous decision if we're looking at it as an MVP voting. But I don't think that people are voting on it as an MVP voting. I think they're voting on it as best player in the league.
Yeah, and I felt really bad for Kyle because, they had the video feed of, like, all the candidates up on the broadcast, and he's kind of sitting there when he lost. Like, why did you guys even have me here?
Right.
If you knew who was going to win, because I know they voted on this before right after the regular season, so they already had the decision months ago. But it sucks to see them because Kyle, I think that was his best season for his entire career.
Yes.
If I'm correct, and he's getting up there with the age.
We need to get him. The Red
Want him
Sox
the Red
need
Sox?
him back. We need him back. We should have never let him go.
I think he would look good.
I mean, he's phenomenal. I love him.
That's the thing. Like, you think he's gonna replicate that season he just had?
I think he could do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also, you could say that about any player. You could be like, oh, they'll repeat, and then the next year they're awful. So it kind of, I feel like you could never really predict how someone's gonna be.
Yeah.
Especially with injuries and everything. But yeah, again, Judge, best player. Cal deserved the MVP, though. I will say that.
And one more thing for Cal, like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know he existed before the season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the beautiful things about the MLB and sports in general. Like, anything can happen, and I just love that because even though
the story is just so good with him.
I feel like this was a great season for like storylines in baseball, like especially the World Series. And that game, the Game 7, the ALCS. It hurt to see Kyle lose in that team because I really was rooting for the Mariners there. But hopefully they can bounce back next season. We're going to cut to a quick break right now. And when we are back, we're going to be talking about Jets and Giants and how they are doing in East Rutherford.
What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Carino.
I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Tucker Austin.
Your Fordham football broadcasters for the 2025 season.
Join us every Saturday on 90.7 FM and on WFUV Sports YouTube page for live radio broadcasts of every Fordham football game as the Rams continue their quest to their first Patriot League title since 2014.
With a new look offense and veteran leaders on defense, you won't want to miss this. Fordham football, every weekend on WFUV Sports.
Welcome back to One on One. If you want to call in and talk sports with us, please do. Our number is 718-817-2750. Again, our number is 718-817-2750. So, starting off with the Giants, the big news of the week is Brian Daboll being fired. I feel like a lot of people saw this coming, especially with the start the Giants had and the close losses and blown leads they've had. But unfortunately, I just hated to see him go. I kind of predicted this happening. I was talking to Grace and Barrett on, I'm not sure if it was NFL Friday or one-on-one, but I said, yeah, I feel like he has a hot seat, and people are like, no, he's fine. It's just the start of the season. But I don't know. I hate to see him go. Interim head coach Mike Kafka takes the reins of the Giants in a team that's basically throwing their arms up and saying the season's over. But I don't know. As a Patriots fan, how do you feel about the Giants falling apart here?
I mean, that's the thing, is all my friends here are Giants fans, so it's hard to watch them be sad. But I also am feeling so happy about my life right now and my team right now. So it's hard. But also just this entire situation with Daboll being fired is really interesting. Again, everyone kind of saw it coming, but I think what really led to it was also his attitude and the way that he was acting towards his coaches and players. And when you have someone that's so highly emotional and also struggles to kind of like have good conversations and be productive when things go wrong, it's like, if you're going to lose and then also not be able to lose in a good way and like move on to the next, then it does make sense to fire him.
Yeah, Ari?
Yeah, I actually liked Daboll as a coach. I thought he was pretty good. He was leading them on the up for the past few years, I thought.
Yeah.
But I agree with the move after this season. It is kind of rough, though. But I do like Mike Kafka. He was the former offensive coordinator and assistant head coach under Daboll for like the last 3.5 years. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do because he's also competing for a job here.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I didn't like, the firing was like obviously going to happen, but why would you do it in the middle of the season when you have a rookie quarterback who's, trying to gain his confidence, trying to get his footing? Jackson Dart's been doing amazing, but you still don't want to make him lose his head coach halfway through the season, even though he's dealing with an injury, a concussion. He'll be out this week. Why are you firing Brian Daboll halfway through? At least wait to the end and then let him go. Everything's very unstable. Everything's in the air right now because of that decision.
I don't know. I think it's the right point in the season to fire. Like, they still have a little bit of time to turn it around, at least a little bit. Obviously, it's not looking too good, but there's kind of like this stand of where are we going to go from here. And also, when you have a guy like Kafka who has already worked with Dart as the offensive coordinator, then they already have that connection, so I don't think it's a bad choice to have him go in instead. Like, if you are going to fire your head coach, when you have a rookie quarterback, especially now that he's hurt, it's all over the place. But when you have a rookie quarterback and you're firing your head coach, you need to have somebody that they already know well, and that's why I feel like Kafka was the perfect option for interim head coach. And it seems like everyone's loving him already. I mean, obviously he hasn't done much with the defense until this week, but players are already commenting that they really like his coaching presence and everything that they haven't experienced yet. So
yeah, I think it's gonna be a great move.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston will be moving to QB1 and starting against the Packers at MetLife tomorrow, Sunday. How are we feeling about Jameis Winston starting over Russell after Russ has been struggling a lot, especially against when he was thrown in against the Bears and kind of led the team to a collapse towards the end there?
I was so surprised to see that, but also because Dable kept saying, oh, well, we trust Russ. You know, the injury is going to be awful, but we trust Russ and all this stuff. And, I mean, he's gone in and has not played very well, so it does make sense that they would move on. But I was completely surprised that they just dropped him immediately. To not start him at all. Like, I understand having Winston ready to go for if something goes wrong, but starting him completely is kind of crazy to me.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you have to say about that.
I was going to say, I get what you're saying, but I like the decision, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think even though it sounds kind of crazy, at this stage in Russ's career, I feel like Jameis Winston just brings more potential to the Giants and more like of that big play potential to win, especially against the Packers this week.
Yeah. Russ just looks lost out there. It's not the Russ I remember. The other day I was watching Seahawk 2014 highlights. It was mostly the Legion of Boom. I was talking about this on NFL Friday with Vanessa, and she agreed with me. Like, that's just a shell of what he used to be. And ever since he got traded to the Broncos and then he moved to the Steelers, you can see like he's just losing it. He doesn't have the pocket presence he used to have. He doesn't have the legs he used to. He just looks very unaware, and he doesn't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to see. You know, he was a legend, you know, growing up, especially like that early mid-2010s. That was like when I was a kid, I was looking up to these players. I'm like, oh, these are the coolest guys ever. That was my favorite era of football. And to see a legend like that fall from the heights he was, Super Bowl champion, it's sad. It's really sad.
No, definitely. I mean, it's just hard to watch because it feels like it's gone so downhill for him since the beginning of the season. Like, even just when we're talking about this season, it's gone straight downhill. And he had that really good game with Dallas and everything, and then it kind of like switched off, and it feels like he's gone downhill. So I do like the Winston decision because I also really like Jameis Winston.
Oh, he's so funny.
He's so funny. He's so entertaining. He feels like a really good leader. That's what I'm excited about. Is that's the thing with Russ is, at least this year, he's just so quiet, and he's like that quiet leader, which sometimes can be really, really good, and sometimes they need someone that's more like outwardly expressive to get the team to kind of bond together. And I feel like they need that because they've also had this rookie quarterback who's kind of like trying to figure out his place in the team, and they need someone to kind of come in and take over. This matchup is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it is going to be
with
interesting
the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing, like you brought it up, Jameis just has this. He's just very extroverted. He has this presence to himself. Every team, he's led a lot of teams, especially most recently the Browns, that are struggling. And he kind of brings this new life to them, even though you're like, okay, you know, we're just throwing Jameis out there. You know, he's a quarterback. The season's over, basically. We're just going to want to finish the season.
Right.
But he's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out there. He gets their guys hype, especially that snow game where my favorite quote of him, saying, "The Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, some football and snow." I love it so much. He's such a funny guy. And you could tell he really cares with Jackson. He's been putting him under his wing, teaching him the ropes of the NFL, and I like that. And I think his contract's up. If I'm not sure if I'm correct on that. After this season, his contract's up. I think even though he's not going to start, I would love to keep him as a backup quarterback. He's been a great locker room presence. Everyone's saying great things about him, even though he hasn't started a game yet. And I'm really looking forward to what he has to bring to the Giants. I think especially. Shout out Travis. I know you're a Packers fan. The Giants could beat this struggling Packers team after they had a bad loss last week, which we'll get into later, against the Eagles on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what Jameis Winston can do. I mean, he is on a 2-year contract, so he is signed for another year after this.
Great.
But it'll be interesting to see what he can do. I'm excited to see some quotes this weekend.
Oh, he's going to throw some bangers out. I know.
I'm excited for the post game.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, also, it looks like Dart will be back and ready for next weekend's game against Detroit. So this is kind of his opportunity. It's his opportunity to prove himself, because if he can show a strong quarterback presence this weekend, that could put him at number 2 again for that Detroit game if anything goes wrong again because it seems like Dart's kind of he's been off since that first concussion situation, and he's been playing really strong, but when you have an injury like that coming back, it's, you never know when he's going to be out again because of that.
I feel like we should just bench Jackson for the rest of the season. Like, the season's over. Why would you want to get your rookie quarterback hurt already? He has a problem. I brought this up with some of my friends of mine. We were talking about this. He has a big problem with sliding, and this happened in college, and now you can't do this in the NFL. Obviously, you're going to get hit way harder, so why you can't drop your shoulder and just level the guy like you could in the SEC, even though those are NFL caliber players. And I feel like the coaches need to do a better job of teaching him. I think this concussion will be a good lesson for him, even though that's a horrible way to say it, but it would be a good a reality check for him. Like, you can't be running out there lowering your shoulder. You're gonna die out there. Please, I need you to be safe, my sweet prince.
So you're more concerned about the future. You're thinking, let's set him up for success next year.
Yeah.
So you want to keep Winston around for the rest of the season,
I'd keep him starting.
Depending on
swap between him and Russ.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Russ is going to get another chance. I hope he does.
I don't think Russ will get another chance at starter unless Winston completely blows it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, Winston is very
will
inconsistent.
he do that? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Seems like he's ready to go, though.
I like it. He said, I don't know what he said exactly, but he seemed very excited is the best way to put it. I don't know how to say it. Like, he just, you can tell. He always throws some corny quote out there, something along the lines of, I'm ready to play some football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he was singing some Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, greatest city in the world. He was busting down some moves.
He's really
on the break.
New York.
I've seen so many videos of him singing, and I love it.
Yeah.
He's just a little singer.
I
you know?
loved it. When he went to the Super Bowl in New Orleans this past year, he had some great clips because he was beat reporting for the NFL, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was just going around Bourbon Street acting a fool. It was so funny.
So funny.
He has such a good future ahead of him, after this year.
So.
After his career is over.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great, influencer. He could do anything, honestly.
He could, he has to commentate.
He has to.
He has to commentate. He has to commentate. He's great.
Especially, I feel like a lot
that.
of commentators are on their way out now. It'd be perfect for him.
Yeah, it would be perfect for him. On another note, the whole Bill Belichick thing had me so laughing so hard because he released this big statement on Instagram and was like, I am committed to UNC and I will not be going to the New York Giants, as if the Giants offered him the head coach position.
Buddy, we own you.
That did not happen.
We own you.
And he basically was like, the Giants played an important role in my life and in my coaching journey, and it was a privilege for me to work there, but I'm not going there. And they did not offer them the position. It was just rumors online that they would maybe offer it to him. They didn't offer it to him, and then he put out a huge statement on Instagram, and I was like, this is making it the whole Belichick situation is getting worse and worse by the day.
It just makes it seem like he wants to leave UNC. Dude, no one. I'm pretty sure even the Giants they were gonna stick with Mike Kafka no matter what.
Exactly, they did not ask you to be the head coach.
I would like to see him because that'd be a great reunion, especially the Super Bowl back in 1985 with Lawrence Taylor leading the helm there. But dude. What are you on about?
I just thought it was so out of pocket.
It is out of pocket.
It came out of nowhere.
He's been struggling with that UNC. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we got college football later, but he's been struggling.
if we talk about that later, I don't know, but he is struggling, and it's all because of the things outside.
It's
because
it's
of
a
the
media
girlfriend.
circus.
It's because of so much stuff that's going on outside, and he's just adding to the fuel by making this statement.
Yeah. How old is he? Bill Belichick. He's 80 something, or am I?
He's got to be.
No.
Yeah.
He's
Bill
in his
Belichick.
70s.
73.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can keep coaching at that age.
Yes.
I mean,
73.
I think he can. He's
a capable guy.
He's a very capable
coaches.
73-year-old.
I don't know. It just feels like he's not himself.
Well, it
anymore.
also just feels like college is not the place for him.
It's
Yeah.
not.
He belongs in the NFL
I think
because they're very different styles of play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think UNC is just not the place for him. As a UNC fan, it's so bad to watch. It's genuinely miserable.
I'm sure.
It's kind of funny too that Drake May coming from UNC went to the Patriots.
Yeah,
It's
but
kind of
because
forward.
of that, he's like refusing to let Belichick is refusing to let UNC post about Drake May because he still has like the feud with the Patriots for letting him go.
Dude,
He
feels like an angry old man yelling
exactly.
at the clouds.
The outside, like the stuff outside of coaching is, and it's also there's like been all these rumors of him barely showing up to practices and like taking weekends off, and just does not seem like he's very present. As a coach.
I think he could make a comeback to the NFL. There's a lot of open positions.
That's where I think he needs to be, is the NFL.
I feel like he could make, especially I think Travis would like this. Do you think Bill Belichick would be a good fit for the Packers? Because Matt LaFleur, people are not happy with him right now. He has a hot seat a bit, especially after that horrible play calling performance against the Eagles. So, I don't know. There's a lot of, I see him smiling back there. No, you don't want
Doesn't
Gramps?
want Belichick.
Oh boy, he's hopping on the mic. Are you gonna hop on? Oh boy, I can't hear you. No. He's gonna hop on, Derek? No? Yes, no? I don't know. But Bill Belichick, I think he could still fit in the NFL. He definitely could. I'm trying to think of teams that would fit. The Raiders, I'm not sure. No, you got Pete Carroll there leading the helm. I don't know. Definitely, there's definitely a spot for him. There's definitely a team.
There's definitely a spot for him. It's just whether or not he can figure out his
he has to let it go.
outside stuff.
It's not working.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to hold on to it because it's a bit of an ego thing as well.
Yeah. I also just I think he wants to prove to people that he can coach college football.
Yeah.
But it is not the place for him.
It's not.
Do you guys think NFL teams would still hire him as a head coach though?
Of course, legends.
I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't.
I think not as a coach, maybe a coordinator. I think he'd be great as a defensive coordinator.
He'd be a great offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator.
I wonder if he'd be willing to do that though. Come back as a coordinator, not a head coach.
No, I think his ego's too high.
He has a big ego, and he's kind of that side of him. You always knew he had an ego, but like that side of him is really showing now, especially at UNC.
He's also it's like again with the college thing. He's too. I hate to use this word, but like he's way too nonchalant. Like quite frankly, he's so quiet. He's hard on his players without giving them the motivation to like push them through things, which is what college players need. Because when it comes to college, this is not their job. Football is not their job.
Yeah.
So, and they're still on their way up. They still need the motivation. They still need the time. They're taking classes. They have a lot of things going on outside of football. When you're coaching an NFL team, it is their job. They're getting paid to do this. So it's different. You need different motivation for
different
college players
style
versus professional football players because it's very different. And he's taking the NFL approach and he's saying, we're going my way or no way. And it's not working.
It's
not working at all.
I think that can only work with like the NFL players. Like that coaching style, it's like that hard, like, oh, I don't care about you. You're replaceable kind of mentality is not working
and his go-to is always do your job. Do your job.
Yeah,
but
it's not my job.
It's
dude.
not their job.
I could transfer all I want.
Exactly. It's not their job when they're college students. So it's like it's so different, and he has to adapt to that, but he's not willing to adapt to that.
Yeah, he's not. You have anything else to add to that? Or?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think we pretty much said it. He's not ready for the world of NIL. I don't think. I think he needs to go back to the NFL or retire.
Yeah.
Speaking of UNC, we're going to move on to the Jets and Drake May, my MVP frontrunner, beating them. After a 2-game winning streak, it's snapped by the MVP frontrunner and his New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football. There's not much to say about this Jets team, but I'm going to get into a little thing specifically about Justin Fields because this team, the trade deadline is kind of like, okay, guys, we're going to full rebuild mode after the Aaron Rodgers era, which lasted like 2 years. But Justin Fields, he looks lost out there. I was watching the game, looking at the highlights. He does not look confident in his passing. I've talked to a lot of Jets fans, and he's relying on his legs every time. Even though like there could be an open read or a tough pass, he's going to take that running. He's going to run right down the middle, even though there's an open pass or whatever. And I feel the Jets coaches are failing him, and other teams have failed him, especially the Steelers and the Bears, where they're not developing him to be a pass-first quarterback and just use his legs as a secret weapon or a secondary tool to get out of a jam or go for the first down. And I hate to say it, even though I love Justin Fields on his time with the Bears, it might be too late for him, especially when the age is climbing. Father time is catching up quick to him, and he's kind of getting to the point where you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Are we calling Justin Fields an old dog?
When you're getting passed around the NFL
Mhm.
and no one's confident in you, it's not more of the time. It's more like your time in the NFL is running up, not your
Yeah.
time.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
with like his style of play too.
Yeah.
He's just
It's just overall.
it's hard to watch. I'm like, dude,
struggle.
why are you
It's a
running?
struggle.
Why are you running? You have Garrett Wilson out there. It's just rough to see, especially behind that O line.
is.
It's sad to see for him. But going to the other side of the football, the defense is obviously butchered, and they I think they held their own against a pretty
They did.
versatile.
They did.
And it's more like a failure on offense. You know, you keep on turning the ball over. Obviously, you're gonna wear out your own defense. But they held their own against a wonderful, amazing Drake May led Patriots offense.
I love the wonderful, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that.
Yes.
As a
I gotta
Giants
glaze him.
fan, you
I love Drake May.
love to hear that. Yeah, I mean, also when you look at the difference between Justin Fields and Drake May, I mean, obviously they're like completely different tiers of quarterbacks right now. But when you look at the two, you know, Drake May had 281 yards versus Justin Fields 116. And when you're only obviously 27-14 isn't that small of a difference, but 27 points, I would have expected the Patriots to score more. So I think the Jets, their defense kind of held up against, a very strong Patriots offense. And I would say the Patriots defense didn't do as much as they should have against the Jets.
I don't know. Justin got bullied.
But I also think that should the Jets be scoring 14?
No, there's no world.
Yeah.
There's no world.
Exactly.
It's the Jets. You know, like you can never rule them out, but you know they're gonna lose no matter what. It's weird. The Jets and the Giants have been bad teams, but they've been putting up some fights in some of these games, and it's interesting to see the potential. Because like, what if the game goes the other way? And like for a couple, especially the Giants, I had to go back to them, but like if one of these games goes around, you know, there may be like 5-4
Yeah.
instead of 2-8 and 2-7.
Oh, totally. Well,
Yeah.
that's, I think, the difference between the Giants and the Jets. I know they have the same record, but I do consider the Giants to be a much better team than the
Yeah.
Jets.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Giants can hold their own, and they've just been stuck in scenarios where they've ended up giving up one or two plays that have led to that demise. And they've had so many really close games that it feels like they're just struggling when it comes to, again, those close last-minute games. And the Jets just feel like there's no hope for them at all.
There's no hope.
Yeah, I mean, like, these are two teams in, like, completely different places. Like, I feel like the Jets are just in full rebuild mode at this
Yes.
point. But the Giants, they're on their way up. They're
Yeah.
struggling with injuries
Love
and
to see
coaching.
it.
This might be their last rebuild year. Like,
Yeah.
next
One
year
more
might be
piece.
their year.
Get a good cornerback position, some
Yeah.
defense.
A good draft, and the Giants can be, like, a good team next year.
Mhm.
Hopefully everyone's healthy.
Mm.
I don't know when Malik's return is gonna happen because that was a bad
Oh.
tear. That hurt to watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring that bad memories back, but yeah, I think the Giants have a great future. Jets not so much.
Well, the Jets are also just that conversation of who is going to lead this team as the quarterback, because it sounds like Aaron Glenn does not want Justin Fields
No,
at
I
the helm
don't-
of
I
his
don't
team
blame
anymore.
him.
He's said it multiple times. He said he doesn't know who's going to be starting this weekend. Do they put in Tyrod
Tyrod.
Taylor?
I would put
Yeah.
Tyrod out there.
I would put Tyrod out there. At this point, you're losing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? You're going to lose probably no matter what. If you could squeeze out 1 or 2 wins, I mean, that would be fabulous. But also, I feel like his offense felt a lot stronger than Fields' offense.
It has, especially when Fields is throwing for under 100 passing yards. In the win against the Browns, he threw under 100 passing yards, and that shows like, oh, they don't need him. They're relying on Breece Hall to run their offense at this point. When you're running back, I mean, this goes for a lot of teams. It's not a bad thing, but when your running back is like being the leader of your offense, that's a little rough to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And the Taylor, like, you look back at his last start against the Buccaneers, which was what, all the way back in week 3, week 4, week 3, I think.
Week 3, I think.
Yeah. 29-27 against the Buccaneers. To me, that's a win for the Jets.
Yeah.
I think it
Right?
was.
Like,
They put up competitive
offensively
games.
putting up 27 points. against the Buccaneers off defense is honestly very impressive. So I feel like Taylor is the choice, at least for now. And then you look at that trade deadline and you think about what you can do with that quarterback position.
One question,
because I think they need a quarterback.
I think you draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially you're gonna be the bottom. You're gonna be like top 5 pick next season. But one thing, I think that's an obvious pick. But one thing, are we trading Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall? Or are we gonna keep them for the future?
I trade Breece Hall. I feel like you have to build around Garrett Wilson if he wants to stay.
It does not sound like he wanted to
Does
stay.
not
His body language. He was like, "Why didn't you guys trade me? Like, why am I still here?"
Yeah.
He's fed up with New York. I don't blame him, especially like you had so much potential with that team, and it's been blundered back to back times, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
So I don't see where they go with him without. They could keep him. He could be disgruntled, but I would let him go. Let him have his peace. Go to another team. One thing I want to bring up with you, Ari, the Jets play the Falcons in 2 weeks, not next week.
Yeah.
Do you think the Falcons are going to struggle against them? I just want to get your quick opinion here as a fan.
I mean, as a Falcons fan, I would say no. I would say it should be an easy win, but I know the Falcons. I know it's going to end up being a close game. I hope we don't lose. I really do. But I'm honestly not sure at this point. This Falcons team is just so, unbelievably confusing. And, I thought the Dolphins would be an easy win, but then the Dolphins came and blew us out. But I would say that we would win, but I do think it's going to be a close game, regardless of who's starting for the Jets. I just think the Jets are, one of those competitively bad teams.
They are very competitively bad. Unlike the Patriots, Drake May, he's been amazing. I don't want to get too much into it because you have to go to a break soon. And
we can talk about it in our NFL segment.
Exactly. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, I'm going to let you lead that because I know you just have so many wonderful things to say about him. But we'll be talking about that and more in general NFL after this break.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Joe Henry, your 2025 New York Jets beat reporters.
Follow along with us every Sunday as we cover and analyze all things JETS.
With a new quarterback at the helm, can Aaron Glenn right the ship and cause chaos in the AFC East?
Stay updated every week with game updates and recaps from @Brendan_Shorey
and @JoeHenry_4 on X.
WFUV, your home for Jets football.
Welcome back to One on One. If you want to call in and talk sports with us, please do. Our number is 718-817-2750. Again, our number is 718-817-2750. Guys, general NFL. The NFL is really kicking. It's been going by fast. It's already, week 10, week 11? It's going by quick. I'm kind of sad because I just love football so much, and it's been moving by too quick. But one thing that's been moving by really quick as well is Drake May. Drake May in May. Okay, you can just talk about him. I'm gonna give you the reins.
I mean, classic. He's amazing. I love him. We talk about this. I mean, I was on NFL Friday, 2 weeks ago, and we talked about Drake May for a while because Joe was on it too, and so we just chatted about Drake May. I mean, quite frankly, he is on this other level that last year he looked great and I was really excited about the future of him. I did not think he was going to be as good as he is now.
Oh.
I thought he was going to be great and I was excited for him, especially when we drafted him, but I did not think he was going to be at the level that he is right now. He is leading the league in yards, in passing yards. His completion percentage is also so high. It's at 72%. I mean, again, he's just phenomenal.
He has been phenomenal. I just love it. Even as a Giants fan, it's just, and I hate to see a Patriots dynasty on the horizon, but another one, after, it was 6 years? 5 years.
Long 5 years, guys. A really
So
long 5 years.
I know you just have it so hard as a Patriots
I do
fan.
have it really hard. I had it really hard for 5 years. It was a struggle, especially during COVID and, just built up and such a struggle. It's really hard to lose as a football fan,
One thing I'm seeing I brought this up with friends, and they kind of call me crazy for this, but I'm seeing a little bit of Mac Jones and Drake May, kind of like the same storyline. This new quarterback, coming out of college, and he's leading a young Patriots team to winning a lot of games and to a playoff berth after a couple years of struggling. And I just want to get your opinion on that because obviously diehard Patriots fans. So.
Yes. Well, I was actually gonna talk about the comparisons to Tom Brady. Because there have been
I've seen
because there have been a lot of comparisons to Tom Brady and his style. I mean, they play just if you watch videos next to each other of the two of them throwing and playing, it is very similar. They have a very similar style. I feel like their backgrounds are also fairly similar. Drake May came in as a much higher prospect than Tom Brady did, but when you look at the way that May has kind of transformed this team, and I mean, last year they were awful because they didn't have an offensive line. Now we have people on the offensive line that are carrying. You have Will Campbell, who has said he would die for Drake May. They're besties. You also have a lot of guys that are just putting themselves on the line for him, and it's pretty great. And also, when you have more receivers, like you have Stephon Diggs, if you're not winning games, what are you doing? But I knew this season would be a lot better because of those changes, but I also wasn't expecting us to be this good, and I'm very happily surprised.
Yeah.
I thought we would make the playoffs, Going into this year, I thought we would make the playoffs. Now I feel like we are a Super Bowl contender.
You are. I think you're I'm not sure if you're the favorites, but you guys are up there.
We're up there. We're up there indeed.
I mean, right now
it feels
you guys
very good.
Yeah, right now you guys have the best record in the NFL too.
Yes.
So
Indeed.
MVP frontrunner Drake May. Travion Henderson is breaking out now too.
It's great to see that too. Stephon Diggs, I love him. He's been
Stephon
doing wonders
Diggs, yes.
for my fantasy team recently. He had a rough start, but he's been turning it around. And a little more bit of Drake May glaze. Obviously the future of the franchise for the Patriots, but like you said, I see the similarities to Tom Brady. He's great in the pocket. He has this composure. He never panics, especially behind that great O-line being led by Will Campbell. He's avoiding tackles. He's moving around like he's been in the league for 10 plus years. He's moving like a veteran already at such a young age. Beautiful passes on the run. And you could see this during this Jets game. He just straight face, never panic, always calm, cool, and collected. And I think the Patriots are in great hands. Moving on.
Yeah, I agree. And Vrabel. I mean,
Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel is one of the best things to ever happen to the Patriots. And obviously we're going to talk about Drake May because he's phenomenal. But you have Vrabel, who it just feels like a completely different team from 6 years ago when you had Tom Brady or 7 years ago, I guess, when you had Tom Brady and Belichick, because that felt much more of a quiet, and it was obviously a very strong team. That's a dynasty. Incredible, but also the environment of the team now, it feels fun.
It does.
It never felt fun. It felt fun to watch because we were winning, but it didn't feel like they were having fun. Now it feels like they're having fun.
Yeah.
When you watch them play, and Vrabel is bringing that energy. He's very involved in the team. It doesn't seem like he's, just kind of watching it happen. He's so involved. He's talking to his team. He's, making jokes with them. He's doing their celebration dances with them. It's those sort of things that I feel like the team chemistry is really helping with these wins.
Yeah. Ari?
Yeah, I always thought that the Titans firing Vrabel was really bad fire.
I wanted to bring that up.
Crazy.
Yeah. They did him dirty. He was a great coach for them, and I feel like it was more the players failing him than the other way around.
Yeah, and even the GM, I mean, trading away Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, what are you supposed to do with that?
A.J. Brown, the Derrick Henry one, I could kind of see it. He's an aging running back. A.J. Brown, he was a dog. He was amazing. And why would you trade him for so little? What is it, a 4th-round pick?
Yeah, in his prime.
Dude. And they went on and won a Super Bowl with him and the Eagles. I don't know. This is general NFL, but I don't want to talk about the Titans. They're just they're a bad organization. You can see there's a complete mess going on over there. Even when you start when you have a wonderful quarterback, if talented one, you're kind of giving him a rough start behind that O-line, and just I don't want to, talk down on them too much, but it's just a mess over there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Moving on to a recap of this previous games, your Falcons lose in OT against the Colts in a thriller in Berlin. That was a great game. I woke up a little early just to watch that. Jonathan Taylor, where do I even start? 3 touchdowns. He's in the MVP conversation. Not the first time he's done this. Back in 2022, in his sophomore, I think it was his sophomore or his junior season on the Colts, he had a very similar season. He's actually going to be doing better, or projected to do better than his previous season. And Saquon Barkley's season last season. What he's doing is phenomenal. I can't believe it. Do you guys have anything to say about JT?
Well, 244 yards.
I love it. I should have worn my Jonathan Taylor jersey today. I have one. I'm not even a Colts fan.
Do you really?
I do. I'll just run out during the 20-minute break. I'm going to go get it and come back.
Well, now that the MVP conversation has essentially turned into a quarterback award, the fact that he's become one of those top people, I would say he's top 5, maybe even top 3 now in the conversation of MVP, along with obviously Drake May and Matthew Stafford is up there as well. The fact that he's in that conversation is very impressive, but also just the way he's playing in general is so impressive.
It is
heavily swayed by him. Just the Colts in general, to have such a big turnaround this year with everything, with Daniel Jones. Never saw that coming.
Yeah, big surprise.
Right? I feel like this team has turned around so much, and I mean, JT's a part of that. It's a big part of that.
Speaking about the Colts, I don't like how Daniel Jones, the second he leaves the Giants, he just turns into he was in the MVP conversation for the first 5 weeks. He kind of slowed down, but he's still been like a top 10 quarterback in the league. When people thought his career was like on the downtrend and he might have been out of the league in a couple of years. And it's good, even though he was on the Giants, it's good to see him succeed.
Yeah.
It really shows you how like a situation can change things too.
Yeah, the New York Lights, some people don't some people thrive in it. Some, fall to the pressure. And
but it also depends on your coach.
Yeah.
If you connect well with your coach and they really help you drive yourself, like that completely changes the game. And it feels like he's really connecting there. And the Colts just seem like the place for him, right? It just felt like there was always a disconnect when he was in New York.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that he's found his place. But I never saw the Colts coming this year. Never saw them coming.
No, I don't think anyone could have predicted that. Like, if you told me, oh, yeah, the Colts are going to do amazing, you're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a
What
liar.
are you talking about?
What are you on something? Yeah.
And now that they've got Sauce Gardner, like, they're
they're
on the way up.
He had a rough start, but like,
totally.
I'm gonna
but
give
also
that to,
when
like,
you're traded, you're heading into completely new team. It's gonna
and you also
be a
went to
little
another
bit.
country for your
Exactly.
first game. So like, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I love Sauce on the Jets.
He
Hate to see him
barely
go.
got to practice with them, and then he was like, "Yep, let's go."
Yeah. But moving on to more of a recap. Dolphins upset the Bills 30-13. That was bad. The Bills have dropped their last three games of their 4. And I was talking to a lot of people about this on NFL Friday. Are the Bills in trouble? I know you love this, as they're your rivals, but are they in trouble?
Yes.
Because
very
you are
much.
struggling. Like, it's
When you're struggling to compete against the Miami Dolphins and you're losing by as much as they did, the Dolphins shouldn't be scoring 30 points against the Jets.
I just don't
Like, this, honestly, that game was crazy to me because I did think the Bills were going to be a lot better this year than they have been. And I'm not going to say they're bad, but it just feels like this year's a mediocre year, and I don't know how it happened because it doesn't feel like their team changed a lot.
I feel like it's complacency a bit. They're just like too confident in themselves, saying like, "Oh, we have Josh Allen. We're the Bills. We're gonna have a wonderful, great regular season." And you're just, I think it's a confidence issue where you're too overconfident and you think you're gonna win games just because you had the previous MVP on your team.
And I also think like the fact that they don't have a clear-cut number 1 wide receiver.
They don't. Keon
They
Coleman's
can't.
been rough.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, they have
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid, and that's a tight end. Is they're
I
like
think
really
he's
number
out
one
this
top.
week as well.
Yeah.
against the Bucks.
Yeah, but I also think it's funny that Josh Allen is still talked about as being in the MVP conversation. And that's just this bias of everyone thinking Josh Allen is the savior and like the best person on earth.
I love Josh Allen.
I love Josh Allen.
I love him too, but also how is he in that conversation when he's 12th in yardage and he's pretty lower, a little bit lower in yards per game, and his average is lower, and there's like all these conversations of like what's going on. And he's gotten sacked so many times.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the
he's
guy.
not protecting the ball either. He's had some bad fumbles, especially in that Dolphins. There's one clip where he's like driving the ball. He's running down the field. He has like 3 guys on him, and you think he's about to go down, for a big gain, but he just drops the ball out of his hand. He gets punched out. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I don't know.
It just feels like an off year for him.
It is not. He's still doing amazing though, which says a lot about Josh. Even though he's having an off year, he's still, a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I think.
But is top 10 where Josh Allen should be sitting?
3.
That's what
He
I'm
should be
saying.
top 3 every year.
It's a bad year because he's not in at least the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I would like to see is them in the playoffs. I feel like they've been, especially against the Chiefs, they've like blundered so many opportunities. And I just want to see Josh win a ring because like he's gonna be a Bill for his career. I think he's not gonna leave the team.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I agree.
So
it seems like his.
And their window's closing for like I think they're gonna have a second window. Just give it a little more time. They're gonna build around Josh, but I think this first window is coming to an end right now, and this might be the beginning of it.
This is not their year, though.
It's not their year. You can see it. Unless they could turn things around. You never know.
But I don't know if they can.
Oof. What happens if they face the Patriots? What do you think is going to happen?
They are facing the Patriots soon.
I mean, in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think the Patriots will win.
No bias. No bias.
No bias there.
But it's no, just based on purely purely the football that I've watched. And also, the Patriots are each week, it feels like getting better.
They are.
Right?
It's scary.
And they played the Bills now a little while ago. Now they're going to play them in a few weeks.
They beat them too.
Exactly. And they beat them on the road.
Yeah, that was a rough game too.
So that's a whole nother thing of like, they're just, it feels like the Patriots are getting better and the Bills are doing this. And it's like slowly, just like kind of up and down.
Yeah.
Which you don't want. You don't want to have up and down during a football season, especially at this point where things are starting to kind of crank up.
And I kind of, even though I hate to say this because I love Josh Allen and the Bills, it's good to see new teams on the rise. It's usually, I feel like it's the Bills.
It's good to see the new team of the
I don't know
Patriots
about
on
the
the
Patriots.
rise.
Okay. But like the Colts,
no, the Colts. I love that the Colts are doing well.
Yeah, when's the last time the Colts were good?
Honestly, makes me so happy.
Like that with Peyton Manning, not even Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Like that was the last time they were good.
Yeah.
And like even the Bears are 6-3.
Yeah, that's good to see too. But moving on to more recaps, I'm gonna just touch a little bit on the Texans coming back against the Jaguars. I was watching that game. Davis Mills with a game-winning drive where he ran in for a touchdown to take the lead. Electric in Houston. You love to see a comeback like that. And moving on to what Travis is not going to like too much me talking about. Eagles versus Packers. 10-7 win. Like, could you really call it a win? 0-0 at the half. A little story before I let you guys talk. I was walking around the gym Monday night, and it was pretty late. It was like 10 o'clock. And I see the game on because, it's obviously they're going to have the game on. And I see it 0-0. I'm like, oh, the game is pretty late. Why is it just starting now? Like it's like 10 o'clock. Is there like a rain delay or is there something going on? And then I look at the time and it's the third quarter. I think that sums up what kind of game it was.
It was a total defensive overtake.
It was.
Which honestly I love. I love a low-scoring game where it kind of comes down to the end. And it's just defense. I love that because I love defense. I respect defense so much.
I don't know. It was a great defensive game, especially on the Eagles' part. They were literally calling. Also, Matt LaFleur. I'm gonna get on him a bit. He had bad play calling, and the Eagles capitalized on so well. They were even calling plays. There's a certain clip where they called the play. I think it was in the losing play for the Packers, where they literally called in what run they had. They said it's inside zone.
Hello.
They predicted the perfect. Oh boy.
I think we need Travis here.
Travis.
Matt LaFleur needs to be gone.
He needs to be gone.
It's that time.
I've heard Packers fans
the
say
Eagles
that all
knew
around.
what the play was. Everybody on their couch knew what the play was. We knew that the Packers were running inside zone on 4th and 1. and the Eagles stuffed it right away. Jeff Hafley needs to be promoted to a head coach. Matt LaFleur needs to go. Jeff Hafley cannot leave and become the Giants' new head coach.
I was talking to you about this, Travis. Do you think – I think that's a bit harsh. I think you just leave LaFleur at head coach and just give away his responsibilities of play calling to someone else or delegate that.
If we leave LaFleur at head coach, Jeff Hafley is going to leave to become a head coach of another team.
Huh? I mean, that's up to you guys. We'll see what happens, especially against this game against the Giants. If they lose, that might be the one, like the straw that broke the camel's back. Ari, I'm kind of leaving you out here. Do you have anything to say?
No, I mean, yeah, I honestly think the Matt LaFleur, it's like kind of out of nowhere. No, I mean he's been
doing great.
He's been
great
these
playoff
past
runs.
few years. Had some good playoff runs. I get it. This season has been a little down. That's been a bad game. But I feel like on the hot seat so soon, it's a little interesting to me.
It is interesting. We're going to take a quick preview to the next couple games next week. I mean, tomorrow. It's already Saturday. I already didn't even know it was Saturday today.
He thought it was Friday, and we were like,
what?
do you not have class on Friday?
Are you supposed to be in class right now?
It's been a rough morning, guys.
Oh, boy. So, first game, obviously Bucks and Bills, not as interesting as the one I'm looking right now. Seahawks.
Bucks and Bills isn't
Bucks
interesting?
and Bills? No, you got to listen to the one I'm going to tell you right now. Seahawks versus Rams, NFC West matchup.
Okay.
They're both 7-2, so this game is for the title, not the title yet, but to take the lead in the division.
Yes.
And they're both on 4-game winning streaks with wonderful wide receivers. Puka Nacua leading the Rams, Jackson Smith leading the Seahawks. It's just wonderful to see. I'm gonna watch this game. In total, I'd usually throw on Red Zone, but I'm gonna sit down and watch this one game.
Yes.
So
Who
can
do
we
you
get
think's
predictions?
gonna win?
I think the Seahawks are gonna come on top.
Oh,
I
I was
think-
gonna say the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Rams, too.
I'm
I
gonna
think
go
the
with the
Seahawks.
Rams. Matthew Stafford has just been a different breed this year.
It has been.
And offensively, obviously, there's going to need to be like really strong defense from the Rams to kind of push against the also strong offense from the Seahawks. But I believe the Rams offense is better than the Seahawks offense, and because of that, I do believe they can win this one.
Can we get a
But
score?
it's going to be a close one.
Final score.
Oh, maybe like 27-24.
That's what I was going to say, too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a field goal
Mhm.
All right.
margin.
I gotta be different now. Damn. 31-28.
Okay.
31-28.
And you're taking the Seahawks.
I'm taking the Seahawks because
Okay.
I have faith in their defense. They've been doing great defensively.
Mhm.
Kenneth Walker has been doing great, even with that
Yeah.
questionable.
I mean, if that defense, which is very strong, can
Yeah.
hold down the Rams offense, then
I think you just gotta
absolutely.
limit Puka Nacua, and then from there you
Mhm.
can just build off. Kind of take a lead from there. But it's definitely gonna be a close one. But I love Kenneth Walker. Sam Darnold's showing he's still got it, especially after leaving the Vikings with kind of a sour taste in his mouth at a
Mhm.
disappointing playoff loss. But I'm excited for that. Going back to the Bucks and Bills, what can we get another prediction there? I feel like we're just gonna throw some predictions out.
I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Bucks.
I'm going to take the Bucks,
And-
too.
I was gonna take the Bucks too.
And
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the Bills are just like really cold right now.
Yeah.
It does feel like the Bills are cold, and the Bucks are so strong.
Yeah.
And I know Baker Mayfield has kind of like evened out a little bit. He started so strong, and it's kind of been a little bit down since then. But he's so strong, and the Buccaneers' defense has also been really good.
Yeah, it's been.
And if they can shut down a seemingly weaker Bills offense, then I think the Bucks will take it. And I want to
And-
say it's going to be a lower scoring game
I
than the Rams and
I think so. Yeah, because their offenses aren't too strong. But
I want to
Nika
say like
Ibuka-
21 to maybe 14.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was going to say like 24-21 because you still have Ibuka. You still have
Yeah.
Rashad White, especially Rashad White. And Bucky Irving might be coming back this week, too. I'm not
Mhm.
No,
sure.
I don't think he is.
Okay.
I have on my fantasy. I would know.
Yeah.
My fantasy team is Bucky Irving Lover.
Okay.
But no, he's unfortunately not
Yeah.
coming back. Maybe next week.
Which the Bills, their rushing defense really struggles. So I feel like
Yeah.
whoever the Buccaneers running back
Uh,
is going to be, if it's Rashad White.
Yeah, I think
should have to
Rashad White should be starting. And Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
Well, also
He's doing
Kincaid's
great, too.
out, right?
Kincaid-
or is he
Kincaid's
going to
out.
be back?
I think he's out for the hamstring injury.
So then there's that too.
I
Yeah.
don't. I feel like the Bucks 17-10 is going to be the final score.
17-10. Okay.
Yeah, and before, unfortunately, we got to cut it short. I just want to give a quick preview to the listeners and to you guys. Lions versus Eagles, game of the week, I think. Possible NFC Championship matchup. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up on football. When we are back from the break, we're going to be talking Knicks and Nets. But before that, we're going to be getting a quick interview from our fellow WFUV podcasters when we're back.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
Welcome back to One on One. We are moving to Knicks and Nets in the world of basketball. But before we talk, we have a quick interview with Gabby Price, WFUV's only Gabby Price, and Jonathan. They're going to be talking about Knicks, and we're going to be playing that for you right now. And give a quick listen, and then give our reactions after.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into an exclusive WFUV Sports interview. I'm Gabby Price, joined by Izzy Randazzo, and we have a very exciting guest today. He's a former Fordham grad, now sports reporter, on-air talent for SNY, and most importantly, the thing that ties this all together, Dean of Knicks Film School, the media company where fans learn everything they need to know about the New York Knicks. Jonathan Macri, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I am awesome. I've had a crazy day. I did an ESPN spot earlier today on ESPN Radio, which was actually a first for me. I've done other like affiliate ESPN shows like over the years in different like cities around New York, but never the big show that broadcasts here in New York City. So that was cool. And then just did some KFS stuff. I did a Cats and Shoot episode earlier with my guy Fred Katz, who covers the Knicks covers the NBA for The Athletic. So it's been a busy day, but it's good busy because like I get to talk about this team that I've been rooting for 30 some odd years, and I enjoy it. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, definitely not a bad life, but let's kind of jump right into it. So last night, as we know, the Knicks lost to the Magic, but the bigger storyline that came out of that game obviously was Jalen Brunson on his drive to the basket late in the fourth quarter, landed awkwardly on his right ankle, basically immediately leaving the game, and was reported leaving MSG with crutches and a boot. Don't think we've heard too much of an update on him yet for the future, but what was your reaction when this happened, and what would a lack of Jalen Brunson mean for this team if he was out for a couple games?
I mean, my reaction when it happened was, why is Jalen Brunson still in the game? Because they were down by 16. The Magic had just hit a three-pointer. It was very clear the Knicks were not going to win. And, I said it in the moment. I was like, call a timeout, get the starters out of the game, which, again, the sort of thing we thought might happen more of with the new head coach. It didn't happen. And then, Brunson does what he does, which is he anytime he's in there, he's going to go 100 miles an hour. As far as, a potential life without Jalen Brunson for the immediate future, I think it's going to be interesting because for all the talk about this like equal opportunity offense, giving other players a chance to step up and do more things, he is still the guy that demands all of the defense's attention when he is on the floor. So whether it's off the ball or whatever, it's like defense is off the key, always have to key in on him, and he is still the guy that gets starts the dominoes, falling on a lot of offensive possessions. So if he's not out there, how are they going to do that? And I think I am very interested in finding out the answer to that question.
Yeah, kind of building off the Brunson injury and its implications. So the Knicks are one of those teams that have an enhanced level of chemistry, kind of similar to OKC or the Celtics when JT is healthy.
Yeah.
So how do you think this chemistry may change with Brunson out and, kind of other aspects changing for the team?
That's a great question. I do think that they have good chemistry, and it's great to be able to say that because watching the team last year, I don't know that I would have said that a lot last year. Because I felt like my biggest takeaway last year is that, and I've said this many times, they were a team where it didn't feel like they were playing up to the level of their talent. If anything, it was the opposite. They were playing below that level. This year has been a different story. When the offense has been humming, it's been just the absolute most beautiful thing to watch. So, if you take that key piece away, in theory, the chemistry should still be there, right? Like they should still be able to play together and do like a lot of the stuff that they're doing. I just think it might take a little bit more creativity because having Brunson on the floor, it's a failsafe, right? It's like no matter what happens, we still have him out there, and like we're always going to be able to get a good shot worst comes to worst. And like here's the thing, even within this offense and even within like all the great chemistry that they've had, there have been a lot of possessions that have ended with Jalen Brunson taking a shot. He is taking more shots this year, a lot more shots this year actually than he was last season. So, again, not to repeat myself, but I'm just kind of curious where they're going to go. Who's going to initiate offensive possessions? That's my biggest question because they don't have another traditional point guard. I won't say on the roster because they have Tyler Kolek, but that is like ready to step in and play significant rotation minutes. So what does it look like? You would think that like all of their collective experience together would help here. But again, it's the sort of thing where we don't know because we haven't really seen it too much at all this year.
Definitely. Gabby, do you want to go or do you want me to take this next question?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I know it's still kind of an upsetting topic because it just happened last night, so bear with me. But last night's defeat against the Magic, what are your thoughts about the Knicks' first loss on home court?
Yeah, I was really pulling for 41-0 at Madison Square Garden. But no, I mean, look, it was annoying on a few fronts. For one, they didn't really come out with great energy, and it was the second night of a back-to-back, so you can kind of understand it. But like the coach, some of the players said after the game, like that's no excuse. You got to come out there and you got to bring physicality. And they were punked. And like if you're a fan of a team, like you never want to. It's okay to like nobody likes to lose at all. But like if you're gonna lose, don't get punked and don't get punked on your home floor. And they did. So I didn't love that. I also didn't love that Orlando kind of took them out of their offense. But it's a long season. It's one game. I think we've seen enough evidence to feel pretty confident that this team, is obviously they're a good team. And now it's just an opportunity for them to give us some more data on how they respond to adversity. They had a 3-game losing streak earlier in the year. Obviously, that was on the road, and they responded to that well. So now, especially if you don't have Brunson, how are you going to respond against a good Miami Heat team on this final game of your homestand tomorrow? So, hopefully they treat it as a learning opportunity. I'm going to try to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to stay positive. The way I look at it, now we got our loss on home court. Let's get a win on a away court in a couple days.
There you go. Yes.
That could be good. But Kind of transitioning, obviously, a lot of your job, you're on Twitter, you're on Knicks Twitter specifically, which is a little bit of a crazy place.
A little
And
bit.
just a little bit. A lot of discourse about Josh Hart, Kat Yabusele early in the season. Where do you kind of stand on these guys? And I mean, I guess now that especially Brunson is out, do you see them taking a bigger role on the court?
They're gonna need to. Like there's no choice because Jalen Brunson is their best player, obviously. But like Karl Anthony Towns is their highest paid player. He's a max player. He's just made the All NBA team. Um, and then OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges have had very good statistical seasons. They've played very well, but again, it's a question of how do those guys look with a little bit more offensive responsibility. Um, I I would say overall, I've been really happy with pretty much everybody in the rotation, give or take a Yabusele, who has kind of come out of the gate a little slow. It may be a conditioning issue, but even he showed. Funny enough, on a night when nobody really played well, he was like had some encouraging minutes last night, the last couple games. So, um, who is going to step up the most? That's really the question. And you would think again, just because of his stature in the league and everything, that it would be Karl Anthony Towns. But, he is not your traditional, like, all NBA level player in that you don't just, you don't just toss Anthony or Karl Anthony Towns the ball and say, okay, go create offense, go, manufacture stuff. So, I'm a broken record. How is it going to look? What are they going to do? How are they going to tap into the talents of these guys to lift the offense up if Brunson has to miss time? And is it going to look materially different from what we saw when Brunson was in the game?
Absolutely. Kind of shifting a little bit with this new era under Mike Brown. How do you think this season is looking for the Knicks so far, kind of with this new leadership of a brand new coach?
Uh, Pretty good. Pretty good. 7-4 is fine. I probably would have. I mean, I certainly would have signed for 7-4 before the season started. I think the process is even more encouraging than the results in that the players have bought into a offensive system that is certainly they get into their actions faster. There's a lot more movement, both with the ball, off the ball. It is clearly producing good shots, with the exception of last night. And again, I don't want it's kind of recency bias because we just played this game, but Orlando is a more physical team, and they were able to do some things to disrupt what the Knicks did that other teams just have not been able to do. Um, all that being said, it seems like they're very bought in to what Mike Brown is selling, which was always my biggest thing, because it's like you're telling a team that made it pretty far last year to like, all right, well, we're gonna kind of scrap a lot of what we did and try something new, which you never know how that's gonna go. So I've been encouraged. The defense hasn't really been there, but I think it will come in time. So yeah, but again, it gets back. Like hearing your question, it gets kind of back to for me, like what is it's going to sound weird. What is the point of the season? Is the point of the season just to win games? Because they could win games on talent. But I think what the real point of the season is to develop some good habits and habits that will pay off in the playoffs. And that's again, I think we've seen some good, encouraging signs where that is concerned.
Yeah, going off kind of what you just said, talking about players buying in, Mike Brown also buying into this team and also to the franchise. There's really massive expectations on this team going into this year. And I think there's a couple questions here that I would love to be able to ask you. But first, kind of going off what you just said, but what specifically do you think that the Knicks need to do in order to get themselves to the Eastern Conference Finals, the NBA Finals, where a lot of people want them to be?
Yeah. What do the Knicks need to do to get to the NBA Finals? I'll answer this in a simple way, which is to say they need to play up to their capabilities. Which might sound like a cop out, but like they should have made the finals last year. They really should have. Because they were Indiana played better basketball than them throughout the whole playoffs and in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they had more talent than Indiana. And I know talent doesn't always win out in the NBA, but their talent should have made more sense together last year than it did, if that makes sense. So fast forward to this year, like, yeah, there are some other good teams. Like Cleveland's good. Detroit's obviously, making a statement early on here in this season, but they still have the most talent in the Eastern Conference, and it still should be the most functional talent. They could play different ways. They could play with Cat at the 5. They could play with Mitch at the 5. They could be more defense centric, more offense centric, all of those sorts of things. It is just going to come down to them going out there and continuing to execute what you need to execute in Mike Brown's system. And they have done that for the most part. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And then just, defense, so much of defense is about effort. And I think in some of their poor defensive performances this year, it's more of an effort thing than anything else. They don't need to be, I don't know what that was. Sorry. They don't need to be a great defense to make it to the finals. They just need to be a good defense. So what does that look like? Is that 12th in the league, 10th in the league? I don't know, but they could get there. Whatever it is, they could get there.
Gab, you're muted.
Oh, yeah. I was like, is it me?
My bad. Technology.
That's okay. No problem.
I've done it before. It's okay.
Yeah, anyways, I think that was a great point, Jonathan. Defense, a little iffy, but they can get there, especially with an excellent offense. But kind of maybe one last question,
Sure.
Touching on expectations a little bit. Do you agree with the expectations going into this year that it's kind of all or nothing for the Knicks, where people are like, it's NBA Finals or nothing? Do you agree with that sentiment?
I think anything other than a finals appearance this year would be a disappointment. And I don't think that that's unfair of me to say because of the moves that the front office has made the last few years and the fact that they have clearly gone all in on this roster. Every piece that is here because the front office wanted it to be here, which is not to say that like they have, like if you gave them the ability to assemble any team that they wanted, that they would assemble this team. But like they went out and acquired all these guys by trade, by draft, by, by free agency signing. And you're never going to get an Eastern Conference that is, I'm not saying the East is like easy, but you're never going to get an Eastern Conference that is more, it's more there for the taking than it is right now. As far as like, do they have to win the whole thing this year? I don't know. I mean, this team has been to the finals twice in the last 53 seasons. So if you're telling me they can make the finals again, like, and they lose, is that a failure? I don't know that I would say a failure. What I will say though, I think anything other than a title this year would result in them looking at the roster and potentially looking to make one more big change. And like, nobody should be thinking about like Giannis right now because the Bucks are first of all playing very well. He's awesome. And look, he may not ask out this summer. You never know. But given everything that happened this past summer, where it was reported that he was interested in the Knicks and the whole thing, like if they don't win it all this year, it would be frankly irresponsible for the front office not to go and look at that as a possibility again. I don't know if it's feasible. Giannis would probably need to be a little heavy-handed. But yeah, so now with that again, does that mean not winning it all is a failure? I don't know that I would say that, but that's their expectation. I can tell you that they think that they have the goods to win it all. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the dream to see the Knicks winning championship parade in New York. Would love to see that happen. And you've said it multiple times. Really, the biggest question for this team is what is it going to look like with Jalen Brunson, without Jalen Brunson? You can talk about it all. Trade deadline is another conversation that we don't even have time to get into today. Jonathan, thank you so much for talking to us. we know you're a very busy guy. You had a very busy morning. So hopefully you have a break now this afternoon. But we really appreciate you taking the time, sharing all of your expertise about the Knicks. Thought it was a very good conversation for all of us.
No, this was great. The only thing, what I have to do right now, Izzy made me some absolutely bang up social clips for my general NBA show, NBA Takedown, and I've been so swamped this morning, I haven't got a chance to actually get them out into the world. So that is what I am going to do right now. But no, this was a thrill, and like you mentioned that I went to Fordham, which I did, but I've never been on WFUV before, so this was real. This was an honor. This was the first time, and so like for any boxes that I've checked off on my career path thus far, this is now a new one. I've never done this before, so this was a thrill.
Wow, I
Awesome.
did not know that. Yeah, well,
Yeah. I was not, listen, I didn't do any of this when I was in college. I didn't, I don't think I wouldn't have even known how to get into the station. So this was great. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
The station is very hidden, so it's a pretty common thing, actually.
That's so sad that I actually don't even know for sure if I know where the station is, like what building it is in. That's pathetic of me. I'm sorry.
No,
it's a
not
maze.
at all.
It's
It is a maze. It is a maze.
It is
Okay.
like a labyrinth. It is crazy. Like I still get lost, and I've been doing
It's
this.
under
for-
Keating. It's in Keating basement. If you
You know what? I think I knew that, and I definitely had classes in Keating back in the day, but I don't think I ever ventured to the basement. So yeah, I didn't go there.
Yeah, I mean, not much of a reason to, other than our studio. Maybe you'll find yourself there one day. I don't know. I don't know.
Next time I'm in the mood for some Pugsleys, maybe I'll
Ooh.
knock on the door.
Yes.
That would be
Definitely.
awesome.
Yeah.
Jonathan, again, thank you for your time today. Like he just mentioned, for more of Jonathan, follow him on Twitter, follow Knicks Film School, follow NBA Takedown on Twitter for more things Knicks and NBA, of course. But for Izzy Randazzo, of course, our guest, Jonathan Macri, I've been Gabby Price, and this has been an exclusive WFUV Sports interview.
Welcome back to One on One. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Gabby Price, Izzy, and Jonathan Macri. It was very interesting, especially, kind of seeing in hindsight how they were talking about Jalen Brunson's injury. Thank God I was just talking to Derek in the studio that it's only a grade 1 ankle sprain. He'll be back in 1 to 2 weeks. Might get some G League time to recuperate and rehab. But that Magic loss was a rough one for the Knicks. But they bounced back with a great win in the NBA in-season tournament group stage against the Miami Heat. Cat popped off for 39 points, 4 assists, 11 rebounds. Love to see it. Cat's really been showing he belongs in New York. Landry Shamet. I don't think I'd ever be saying this. Shout out to George Fugatakis, big Landry Shamet fan. I never was a believer. He dropped 36 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. I think that is going to be a moment that will be remembered in the Garden for a while. He's hyping up the crowd. He was talking, he's talking his, he's talking his smack. But how are we feeling about the Knicks? They've been kind of showing that Mike Brown was the right choice. Been more a versatile offense and not just, iso ball anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say Mike Brown is a fantastic choice for head coach. Under Mike Brown, they have, gone 8-4, and they're leading the offensive rating. And, this has been their best start since the 2012, 2013 season.
Yeah, with the Melo days.
Yeah. So, very strong start from them. Brunson being out and OG after the last night is a little nerve-wracking for them because losing both of them would not be good. That would be, honestly, like they were talking about in the interview, that would be very detrimental to this Knicks team because Brunson is so key. But like you said, Landry Shamet.
He's stepping up.
Stepped up. 37 minutes last night. 36 points on 12 of 19 shooting. 6 threes.
That's one thing I love about Mike Brown.
That.
He's giving these bench players minutes.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I feel like even though JB's out, it's giving a chance like Landry Shamet, Deuce McBride, Tyler Kolek, Jordan Clarkson. Guys who, if Tom Thibodeau was still at the head coach position, would not get minutes at all and just be not starting. But I just love it. Ari, you got anything to add?
Yeah, it's really nice to see. Obviously, the Jalen Brunson thing is concerning, like you said, with AG Anunoby. it's concerning, but you got guys stepping up. Karl Anthony Towns, a great game, 39 points last night. And after all that, he's doing great. And the Knicks are off to a great start. 8-4, like you said, second in the Eastern Conference.
They are doing great. I was kind of scared at the beginning because, you kind of saw some growing pains with Mike Brown. They were struggling a bit at the beginning of the season, dropping games to teams like the Bulls, which, even though I don't know if you guys knew this, I'm a bit of a Bulls fan. My dad was in Chicago during the first three-peat back in the 90s, and he kind of inherited and gave that to me. So, yeah, the Knicks kind of turned things around. I'm liking it. Second in the East. This is their season to win the chip. The East is wide open. The Detroit Pistons are first, though, but we don't know about it. We'll talk about that later when we kind of move to general NBA a bit. Not too much, but it's great to see the Knicks winning. What are we thinking for the future? What do you think? How's the season going to go? Things are ramping up, even though these injuries are kind of holding us back.
I do believe it's completely up to injuries.
Yeah.
If you have Brunson out this season, I still think they're going to be a very strong contender, but it might look more like last season did versus the way it started now. Because if you have Brunson back, they are going to be much better, a much stronger contender this season than they were last year. Not that they weren't good last year. They were a very good team. They got into the playoffs, good playoff run. But I don't know. I think the injuries, like losing your number one guy and maybe losing your number 3 guy would be bad.
It would be
very bad.
I see that trend happening, though, with the wheels fall off towards the end. This happened the past 2 previous playoff runs. Both losses to the Pacers. The rivalry from the 90s is back with Tyrese and JB going at it, but the wheels fall off. Josh Hart getting injured, JB getting injured, OG getting injured, Mitchell Robinson getting injured. Like, it's the same story, and I'm not sure if that's just the Knicks, getting bad luck in a consistent history of them getting bad luck, or it was Tom Thibodeau overplaying them. But I think we'll see this season with Mike Brown. Props to Mike Brown. I've been bringing him up a lot, been giving him a lot of glaze.
As he should be.
Yeah.
He's been doing great.
He should be receiving it. He's been doing really good.
He has been. And I was surprised. One thing, when he got fired from the Kings, he wins head coach of the year, and you fire him a season later. It's not even his fault. The roster construction is horrible for that team. You have an old DeMar DeRozan. You have an old Zach LaVine, both Bull legends, but they've been doing horrible, and that team's just lost. So I don't really understand that kind of move, but the Knicks reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, that firing really didn't make any sense to me, but it worked out perfectly for the Knicks, and I think they're definitely on the up now with this.
Yeah, I mean, also you have guys like Jordan Clarkson who scored 25 points. Then you had Josh Hart kind of come back, and I mean he's played well the last few games, but he recorded his first triple-double of the season with 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. And the Knicks posted a season-high point total. Another sort of situation where the offense is really carrying. It's just going to be whether or not they can hold on to the ball, get those rebounds, and make sure that they're playing good defense.
Yeah, and one thing also, I don't like the ISO ball because I see the bad habits coming back very often, especially against the game against Orlando Magic. Jalen Brunson did drop 40 points, but for what? It was still a loss. I don't really understand why we're going back to that. I'm not sure if it was a struggle, if it was a miscommunication on the part of the players or Mike Brown, or that was his game plan for the game. But it's shown, again, bad habits coming back. I don't know why we're going back to this ISO ball thing for every other game, and it's leading to losses that Knicks should really be 11-2 like the Pistons are, because they're losing games they shouldn't be, as I mentioned earlier. I feel like I'm repeating myself. But, yeah, you got to pass the ball. I sound like an old head saying this. I need 10 passes before any of you guys take a shot. But that's what winning basketball is, and I love the Pacers, even though, they beat the Knicks in crushing fashion in 6. But the reason that Pacers team was so successful was that they had good team basketball. It wasn't one guy dropping 40 every night in Tyrese or Miles Turner or Pascal. It was them passing the ball, sharing the love, and guys like Neesmith and Nimhard stepping up because they were given the ball and the chance to score.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Knicks have the pieces to do that. They have, great pieces. They have great depth. Like you said, look at their bench from last night. Landry Shamet, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson. All these guys are stepping up. And if you just continue to work on that team ball and keep that going, I think for sure they'll be pretty good.
Tyler Kolek too. I know he's not a big name, but I'm seeing flashes from him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be a good backup point guard. I'm not sure if where Deuce is going to be going to the future, if he's going to stick with the Knicks. His contract is coming to an end in the future. But I like Tyler Kolek a lot. I don't know if anyone agrees with me there. Oh, boy.
I don't know. Well,
Tyler Kolek.
Well, like back to Mike Brown, too. They talked about it in the interview as well on his decision to keep in Brunson in the final minutes of the loss on Wednesday, even with that injury. And the way he responded, I liked the way he responded. I feel like he handled it well, and he was like, there was, a minute and 54 remaining. But he also said he kind of was like, well, we want to win. We want to win the game. We got a little bit of time. There's a couple minutes left, and that's all I was trying to do to win the game. But that didn't make sense to me because they were trailing by 16.
Yeah.
You weren't winning that game.
Yeah.
With a minute 54 left, you weren't winning that game with Brunson or without Brunson.
Well, that was
so
good
why
for him,
would you
though.
keep him in when he's injured if, right?
That is a great point, but I like the way he handled it. Like you
No,
said,
I like the way
handled it
he handled
amazingly.
it.
That's what a leader does, you know.
Yeah. When asked about it, I feel like he responded really well. It's just I
Yeah, it
don't
was a
think it
bad
was a good decision during game time
It gave me
because
some flashbacks.
looking at
With
looking at the score and looking at how much they would have had to make up to get to that point, it made no sense. It made absolutely no sense.
Especially a player of like that caliber to keep him in that late. You just can't do that.
Exactly. Especially because, again, you keep him in for that extra time. That may make his injury a lot worse. If you make his injury worse, you're losing him for more time.
Yeah.
I don't why would you want to do that to your player who is literally your best player by a mile?
Yeah. Thank God it was just a grade 1 ankle sprain because I've seen this happen before, especially in Derrick Rose. I got very nervous when I saw him go down and he wasn't coming back up. And there's been times like that, players like that, or 2 minutes, pointless game. It's over or they're winning by a lot, doesn't matter. And some career-ending injuries come from that. And, thank God Jalen Brunson was safe and he didn't get too hurt. But moving on to the lesser side of New York, shout out to Kurt Sipple. The Nets, 13th in the East, 1-11. They're a basketball team. They're in the NBA.
They're a basketball team for sure.
They are indeed a basketball team.
They are a basketball team.
They are a basketball team that is 1-11.
Cam Thomas is out 3 to 4 weeks due to a left hamstring strain. That's rough. Big loss. He's been doing really great for them. Great scorer. Not too much of a passer, though. I think he needs to develop that a bit in his game if he wants to last in the league. I think iso ball is kind of the haram ball of the NBA where you're just hogging it and you're hogging the rock. And I think that's not only limiting your team, but it's also a form of basketball that should be dying soon because I just don't like it. People like Jokic, Tyrese Halliburton are kind of leading this new era or a reemergence of this era of team basketball instead of just iso ball. And I'm all for it. But Cam Thomas needs to change with the times.
Yeah. But also, last night's loss was awful.
Yeah.
Giving up a 16-point lead
The Nets are just
so
the Nets.
late in the so late in the third and fourth, just awful.
The Nets are gonna net big game for them tomorrow against the Wizards. That's gonna be that's another game of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I want to talk to you, specifically you. Celtics versus Nets, back-to-back games. One's going to be an NBA couple game for a group stage. Are the Celtics going to beat the Nets?
Beat the Nets? Yes.
Are they going to beat the Nets?
Are they going to beat any other team? I don't know.
I don't know. The only win is against the Pacers, who are a walking hospital right now.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this team just for Kurt, but there's nothing to talk about. It's really sad.
No, it is really sad. But here's a bright spot. They're really good on second chance points.
They are.
Last night they dominated. They had 25 versus the Magic's 5 second chance points. So they're getting those rebounds. They're getting back to the ball. You can tell they're playing hard. It's just not working. Something's not connecting. It hasn't connected in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Kurt Sippel.
Kurt, I'm sorry. But Nick Claxton's been doing good,
Mm-hmm.
They should get him out of there.
Mm.
Hopefully. I don't think they will. They kind of like holding on to him like he's their prized possession. And like you're kind of rotting away a good center's career. I feel like a lot of teams would love to have Nick Claxton. He's been kind of a staple of that team, but what do you see? What are you doing with him? Like, you're just hogging at that point.
Yeah, and also when you don't have people to surround him that are strong players.
And they just trade. It seems like they're in rebuild mode too. Why do you trade Cam Johnson, but you're keeping these other players? Like, I think you should build around Cam Thomas. He has a bright future ahead of him. But players like Nick Claxton, I feel like that's a good first-round pick you could get out of him for any other team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I would say there were some bright spots from the loss last night, even though it was terrible. I mean, Michael Porter, 24 points. Zaire Williams coming off the bench at 15. It just, there's, like you said, there's not much to talk about there.
One thing about Michael Porter Jr., he is leading the team in assists.
Yeah.
Which says a lot. When he's Michael Porter, bring your own ball. Wait, Michael, bring your own ball next time. Porter Jr. I don't know. Let's move on. General NBA. Moving on to the general NBA. One thing I was dying to talk about is Jokic and how he's not being talked about enough. He's been dropping consistent triple-doubles, 30 points a night, and he hasn't been talked about until his performance this past Thursday night against the Clippers. 55 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 18 for 23 from the field, 5 for 6 from three-point range. You don't see a big man shooting like that usually. And he's just, again, showing like he just runs the NBA. It's his playground. He does it for fun. Doesn't matter. He'll beat anybody. And it's funny to hear. I was mentioning this quote to you guys earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it. Tyrell Lue, the coach of the Clippers, said, yeah, our game plan going in was to limit his passing, not sharing the love of the rock. Yeah, you can't do that with Jokic. He's showing you just can't do that. He dropped 55 on your head like it was nothing, like it was a day at the park.
Right.
He's doing pickup basketball. It's so great to see.
This might be our MVP this year, guys.
I guess.
Right now, he's the favorite in the betting odds.
He was also the favorite last year for a long time.
That's true.
He should have won.
No,
I think
SGA.
I think
SGA deserved that.
If you take Shea away from, again, this conversation of MVP, best, most valuable player or best performing player, Shea was the best performing player. But if you take away Jokic from the Nuggets last season, are they making the playoffs at all?
I don't think so.
No.
I'll give you that.
They're not.
No, but I also think SGA was wildly
defensively.
Yes, but I think he was wildly important for that team on a leader end too.
Yeah,
because of such a young core. He's young himself, but not as young as a lot of those players. And he, I think, leader wise, was really there. I don't think you could say the same for Jokic.
I don't know about that. Jokic has been a great leader. He has a great presence, especially in moments when in that series, I think it was an iconic series. I feel like it would be looked back a lot. OKC versus the Nuggets went to Game 7. They were down, I believe, 3-2, the Nuggets, and they forced Game 7. Didn't come out on top, but they still, you could see Jokic. He was leading his team. The morale was down. Everyone's like, oh, the series is over. But he rallied them together, and I've seen this a lot, especially when Mike Malone was fired. He kind of took the reins with the team, even though their interim head coach was doing his best. I think he's a great coach, by the way. I don't want to put him down, but I think Jokic is a great leader. He's not as loud or talkative or outgoing as Shea is, but he still has that presence to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think
a little bit.
I think it's definitely not as noticeable. I feel like everyone kind of looks at him as like, oh, I'm just going to go back to my horses kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He feels like a little, it feels like once the Thunder are off the court, they're all hanging out and enjoying things and like playing games together and going out to dinner. Yeah. And I mean, you see pictures of them all together and they're all, you see their TikToks. Like they're clearly a close-knit team. It doesn't feel like the Nuggets are that way. And I feel like a lot of that is because of SGA. who has pulled that together.
Yeah.
Another thing, I think it might be the age too, because they're all
Yeah.
around the same. They're all like
Yes.
20.
Mhm.
Who's
They're
the oldest
all
person? Like Caruso is like 30
20s.
something.
Yeah.
Like that also might be another thing. But you never. I agree with you. SGA has
Mm-hmm.
this ability to like just bring a team together, and I've never seen such a overall balanced team like in a while.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him.
Yeah.
I think
me
he's so
too.
great.
And he's just leading the way.
But now Jokic has tied his regular season record of 55 points, which is pretty awesome. Both
Yeah.
of them on top again.
Mhm.
I love when there's a battle for MVP and you have
It
no idea
is.
who's going to get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jokic should have more MVPs though. He was robbed against Embiid. Was that 2 years ago now?
Yeah, I
Three?
think two or three.
2 or 3. I don't.
Yeah.
Time's going. Oh, it was 3. It was 3.
It was
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because SGA won it, Jokic, and then Embiid won that one. It was like, oh, here,
Yeah.
take it, kind of MVP.
Yeah.
What happened to Embiid?
I don't know. I went to the 76ers Nets game a few weeks ago, and I mean,
He just,
was just sitting there.
He feels like he's just there at this
Yeah.
point.
you see, like,
I mean, we both watched the same
And now
game.
the 76ers are good.
they
so.
are kind of. I wanted to talk about this. VJ
Which is
Edgecombe.
the generator.
BJ Edgecombe.
He's been doing great.
Mhm.
He might. I think he's favored to win Rookie of the Year.
He's
right now.
actually second, which I would thought was really
Second?
surprising.
Behind who?
Cooper Flag, which isn't that
The
interesting?
silence.
That's.
I
yeah,
feel like Cooper
media.
Flag hasn't had a
He's.
good enough start. I mean, he's phenomenal, but I don't think he's
I
had
mean,
a
he's
good
not
Yeah.
enough
leading a
start
team like he
of the
VJ
season
is.
to be Rookie of the Year.
I think it should be Edgecombe, which is
It
really
should
interesting
be.
that the odds say Flag.
I'm saying that's another thing. The media dictates a lot
Yeah.
of these awards, and just because Cooper Flag was the first overall pick, he has a bigger name.
Mhm.
No one really know who. No one really. VJ wasn't really the biggest name to come out of that draft.
Right.
I just don't like that. If Cooper,
Mhm.
he's been doing great. He's been doing all right. You know, he's averaging 15 points a game for a start, which is nothing to scoff at. You know,
Yeah.
it's great. But that Mavericks team has nothing going for them, and VJ is leading that team. He's the second scorer there behind Tyrese Maxey.
Mhm.
So I can't believe that. That's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
Where's
feel-
that from?
That's from ESPN.
Oh wow.
What?
I
Yeah.
feel okay. Here's the thing. I feel like statistics wise, they're very similar. Like Edgecombe has 15.6 points per game. Flag has 15.2. Flag's got 6.6 rebounds. Edgecombe has 5.7. He's got 4.2 assists. Flag has 3.1 assists, and then Flag's a little over in field goal percentage with 43, and then Edgecombe's got 40. But so like looking plainly at stats, they're going back and forth for everything. So it feels like statistics wise, either of them could kind of win it.
Yeah,
But when you watch them play, it feels like a different story.
it does.
Right?
Like,
It feels like Edgecombe is leading this team that last year was struggling a lot. And this year it feels like he's kind of bringing them up.
I like it too because the Sixers were
Mhm.
the bottom, one of the bottom seeds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You thought they were cooked. Like the brightest spot was Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain,
Yeah.
and now you have another guard, not another guard, but another player,
Mhm.
this leading the way. I think the Sixers have a bright future. If
Yeah.
Joel can come back, I know his
Yeah.
age is getting up. He's 31. If he can stay healthy, this is a very good Sixers team.
Yeah, I mean they've beat the Celtics now 2 times.
I mean, that's
Which
not
I
saying
mean,
much.
that's I know we're not saying that much, but they haven't played necessarily looking at their schedule. They haven't played a lot of great teams,
Mhm.
right? They lost to the Knicks in preseason, and they beat the Timberwolves, but that was in preseason. Then they've played Orlando, Charlotte, Washington, the Nets. They played the Bulls. They lost to the Bulls. They lost to the Cavaliers. They played the Raptors and the Pistons. They lost to the Pistons both times. So
Pistons been great.
so their schedule hasn't been super strong. They've played some not as great teams,
We could see
but
at
they've
the All-Star
played
break.
well against those teams.
Yeah, we can
and
see at
he's
the All-Star
leading it.
break.
Yeah.
I think that's really going to dictate it.
He's leading
How
it.
we're seeing. I still think he should be better. Even though that schedule, you have a great point with that. The
Mhm.
schedule's been way easier than the Mavericks have. Like the West is just
Right.
stacked.
Mhm.
Their season opener was against the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, which I kind of want to. I think that's a perfect transition right there.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama. There's no words. I'm actually speechless.
He's a superhuman.
First clip I saw of him
Mm-hmm.
was against the Mavs. He did I don't even know how to describe it. It was a 360 windmill dunk, and he looked like he barely jumped up. He kind of just did a little,
like stands on his tippy toes.
Yeah, and he just dunked it, and he was going crazy. Like,
That's what happens when you're 7'4".
and he's growing. He's still growing.
He should not be moving like that though. At 7'4".
That's an
He's
anomaly.
also 21 years old.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy, he will be and he keeps this up, he could be the GOAT.
He could be the
definitely
best
could.
of all. Yeah.
And it's
absolutely.
crazy to see LeBron and Victor Wembanyama are same in the lifetime. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like you see greatness like that
Yeah.
every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just list some stats off here. Against the Nets, 31 points. Raptors, 24. Heat, 27. Against the Rockets, 22. Bulls, he dismantled my Bulls, 38 points. Warriors, 31 points. Warriors, again, 26 points. He had a poster, I don't think it counted, against Draymond Green, one of the biggest trash talkers in the league. And he stood up and barked back at him.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows, like, he can stay calm and composed, but he will get in your face if you talk.
I mean, he's so good. People talk about him like he's an alien, and I agree. He is an alien.
He is.
Like 12.9 rebounds per game, crazy. 26.2 points, also amazing. And then you've got his block totals.
Crazy.
3.6 blocks per game is insane. And then also the thing that stands out about him is he's great on all sides of the court. Like he's hitting a 34.5% from three.
That's insane.
As such a big guy, like he should not be able to do
He's
that.
draining threes from the logo like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's
Like,
such a
he
well-rounded
shouldn't be
player.
able to exactly. He's hitting everything on all marks. It's just there.
And he can still get better. This is not
Yes.
This is not his prime
This is
yet.
not his peak.
It's not.
He's in year 3.
It's crazy.
This is his 3rd year.
And he had year 2 cut short for a blood clot.
Exactly.
Like, that's insane. And he's
Yeah.
currently the favorite by far with negative 319 odds to win DPOY.
Yeah.
And the next person behind him is Chet with plus 900. How do you basically have if he can stay healthy, he's going to win it easily.
Yes.
It's insane. He would have won it last year if he didn't get injured. It's just.
And should he be in the conversation for MVP?
I think he should
think
be.
so.
I think so too. I think he's definitely a sleeper pick.
He's the difference maker on that Spurs team. If you
Yes.
take him away from that Spurs team,
Yes.
they're at the bottom of the league. Right now, they're the
Yep.
6th seed, 7th seed. Oh my.
Like, I didn't even
6th,
notice.
7th seed. No, but actually, that's it. It's so
They're
crazy.
8-4. Like from the Spurs team being 8-4
That's a
is
great
pretty
rebuild.
good.
That's a great rebuild. Coming off a
Yes.
championship in
It is.
2015, 2014. 2014, I believe, yeah. They had a championship in 2014. 10 years later, you rebuild, and now you have a new staple, a new face of your franchise. And you got Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, and you have way more picks to go after that.
And you have Dylan Harper, who also should be in contention for Rookie of the Year.
He should be.
He has been also playing very well.
He was great.
I wouldn't exactly put him in the conversation with Edgecombe at the moment, but he's shooting 50 field goal percentage, 14 points per game, 4 rebounds, almost 4 assists. He's strong, but he's set out because of an injury. So that's, we're going to see how that goes. But like from the beginning, he has played phenomenally.
Yeah.
So we'll see when he gets back,
I think he should be coming back. He was just great. It's just, I can't believe there's so much talent on one team.
I know.
It's just
so much young talent too.
Yeah, that's.
And it feels like we're getting a new Thunder.
I just love the NBA, especially I feel like it's been the same teams dominating over and over again for the past couple of years. Like the Celtics are running the East forever.
And the Cavs.
The Cavs are running the East before that for years.
Yep.
And the Warriors were running the West for years.
I feel like we have to talk about them too.
The Warriors?
49 points from Curry last night.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
No one's talked about that. I don't feel like it's being talked about.
Yeah, it's not.
He's still got it. And at his age, I think it's amazing to see that.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Best point guard of all time.
He is.
I'll
I
say
think
that
by
right
I
now.
think right now.
Yeah.
That's not crazy to say. I think most people would agree with you.
It's not ridiculous to say that.
It's not
No.
ridiculous to say that. It's not
Ridiculous to say
ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous because some people would say he is the best of all time, and I don't know if I would agree with that, but he's
Best of all
definitely
time?
yes. Some people say that.
In GOAT conversation,
He
GOAT
is in the
point
GOAT
guard.
conversation.
He is.
He is in the GOAT conversation, but he is the GOAT point guard
Yeah.
for sure.
One thing before we go to break, most iconic Steph Curry moment that like comes to your head immediately?
I would say his performance in the Olympics.
That's a good pick.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last
that step back
Olympics
3
in
over 2
2024.
defenders.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
just that was just so awesome to watch.
It was.
To see them come back, especially to not win in 2020 and then to pull that out in 2024.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Awesome. Yeah.
The night in the Olympics,
Yeah.
that was like the most American thing I've ever watched. Like,
Yeah.
And the
definitely
way
first-
he just took over
Yeah.
in that finals game
Mm,
Yeah.
was, I mean, him and Katie in that series was just phenomenal.
yeah.
Like the fact that you have Jason Tatum sitting on a bench.
That team,
Yeah.
that team was stacked.
That
That
team was
team
stacked.
was
You had
stacked.
Tyrese on the bench too.
And they had Tyrese on the bench.
Joel Embiid.
But at that point, Tyrese was so underrated. He still is underrated. But
Yeah.
in 2024, like people didn't truly see his talent until last year because
They
of their
did not.
playoff run.
Yeah.
Because they weren't hitting the playoff runs in 2024. Yeah, in 2024. So they weren't, they lost to the Celtics in the first round. So
Yeah.
Mm.
that wasn't, going to happen there. But now people are seeing him,
Yeah,
but now he's
they are.
out. So it's sad.
That
It
is
is
sad.
sad. Hopefully he comes back in form. But speaking about the Celtics, I want to tell my point. My most iconic moment was him winning the finals in 2022 against the Celtics,
Yep.
your Celtics, in 6. That was so good. It was so cool to see because he finally got the finals MVP
Yeah.
he deserved
Yeah.
Yes.
and proved that, he's the leader of the team. He's
Mhm.
the best player in Golden State history. Hands down, easy choice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up on basketball. It's been really fun to talk about that. When we come back from this break, we'll be talking Gotham FC in the National Women's Soccer League.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
Welcome back to One on One. If you want to call in, our number is 718-817-2750. Again, 718-817-2750. Moving on to the world of soccer/football. New York's Gotham FC faces against the Orlando Pride tomorrow afternoon in a big matchup in the semifinals. I'm going to hand things to Kate, who is the beat reporter for Gotham FC and knows all things about the league.
Yeah, I mean, we have to start off with the fact that they beat the number 1 seed, the KC Current, 2-1 this past week in the NWSL quarterfinal, which was a huge surprise, to be quite frank, because they were the 8th seed, and which is the lowest seed in the NWSL tournament. So did not see that coming because they've had kind of a rocky year this year. It's been a lot of draws and situations where they could have won or they had ball possession the entire time and then it just didn't work out for them. And they ended up with 9 wins, 8 losses, and 9 draws, and 36 points to finish the season, which was only 1 point above the North Carolina team, the Courage, who almost made it to the playoffs, which kind of sucked for them. But the fact that Gotham was able to get through and push out the Current, who had ended the season with 65 points, which is the first time, it's a league record of all time, which is pretty incredible. The fact that Gotham was able to overtake them is really impressive. Katie Stengel had the winning goal to clinch the 2-1 victory over the Current, and that was in overtime in the 121st minute of play. And it felt like it was going to go for that penalty shootout, but Gotham was able to get it down towards the box, and Jaden Shaw got that assist to Stengel before Stengel made that last-minute goal, which was, super important. It was a great game to watch because it felt like finally things have clicked with them. They've kind of gone through this situation where they've had ball possession in every game. They've had majority of ball possession, and then they haven't been able to finish when moments really matter. And this game, it felt like they were finally able to finish on that. And also a huge thing was Ann Katrin Berger had been out a little bit for an injury. She was back for this game, and she had 7 saves in goal, while there were only 3 from the Current, which is really important. With the current forward Bia Zanerato hit a high shot to the top left corner in the 104th minute, so also in overtime, but Berger was able to tip the ball over the bar, and that was kind of the end of the shots on goal for the Current. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
How often do you see an upset of like a number 1 seed to an 8 seed like this in the?
It is not a lot.
Has there ever been? Is this the first time in history, or is this?
No,
happened?
not the first time in history, but it is very uncommon. But also in a sport like soccer, where it is a long game, but you're running the entire time, it's very hard to score. That's why you have so many draws in the game. And of course, we had our Fordham women's soccer team go to the semifinals in the playoffs, and they made it to the semifinals through penalty kicks. That is so common, is to make it to overtime and then to penalty kicks for the win, because of how hard it is to get a lot of shots on goal, because of how good these teams are. So very uncommon. And the fact that it even happened during overtime and it didn't get to penalty kicks was honestly great for Gotham.
Yeah. Like you said, with how hard it is to score in soccer, that's why I think it's so impressive that Esther Gonzalez has 13 goals on the season.
Yeah.
Way more than anyone else. The person second, Rose Lavelle, I think, 5 goals. So just so much more than anyone else.
Yeah, and Esther's been out for a little while due to an injury, and so that's kind of the question going to this semifinal. She has been that goal scorer for Gotham, and so there's this question of, where do we go now when we need that goal scoring? And Berger has been incredible in goal and has been able to kind of like push back against the goal scoring from other teams so that they have a little bit more of a cushion. But you brought up Rose Lavelle. She is incredible. She's been so strong. She's the captain for this Gotham team. And the last game I was at, their last home game of the year, I was able, against Racing Louisville, they ended up going for a draw, but they were able to come out and make the playoffs after that game.
Yeah, they barely just made it, like 1 point off.
Yes, 1 point off. But Rose Lavelle had a goal in that game, and she had a free kick goal, which tied it up so that they didn't lose the game. But yeah, I think from that game they've really improved, because in that Louisville game, they had control of the ball over 60% of the time, and they had 13 shots on goal, but they weren't able to get through and like actually make the goals, and ended up with a draw 2-2. So this game against the Current was really important for them, especially because you don't want to go into a penalty shootout, because then it gets really nerve-wracking.
Yeah. That's like, I think like, especially in not only in women's soccer, but in men's soccer too, when it comes down to penalties, it's not about skill at that point. It's about, can you compose yourself? Can you have, the finesse, the experience to stay in the moment and finish through? And one thing I wanted to bring up, this is really crazy to see. I know I mentioned it earlier that the 8 seed beating the 1st seed. But I think when teams like this upset a team that much, they have the momentum. You know, if I was the Orlando Pride, I would be scared. You just beat the best team with a record 65 points.
Right.
And that's just so unique. It's not the first time a New York team did this, by the way. And the Giants, I'm not sure if you remember, did this, came in upsetting one of the best teams as an 8 seed. But it's just so great to see, especially as a New Yorker, to see a New York team, especially in recent history, a New York team actually winning for once.
Right.
And being an underdog, because I feel like that represents what New York is. We're an underdog, gritty team. You know, we like to get
underdog.
Underdog. I mean,
I
not
don't
an
know if I
underdog.
would
Underdog's the
consider
wrong
New
word.
York's, yeah.
Gritty, very gritty
Okay.
team
Yeah,
is the right
I'll
word.
take
Thank
that.
you. We're very gritty teams, you know, and not every other sport. But that's all I had to say. Yeah. One question I did have: how would you describe? Do you think they kind of the Gotham FC
Yes.
live up to that kind of persona of grittiness?
Yes, absolutely. They're out there playing all 90 minutes with plus 90 minutes with everything they have in them. Their defense is so strong, and that's why you see so many low-scoring games. It's just for them, it's going to be about finishing at the goal, especially in this game against the Orlando Pride, because Orlando Pride had 11 wins, so not too many more than Gotham. I think once you get below the 1 and 2 seed, like the Current had 21 wins versus the number 2 seed, the Washington Spirit, who we'll talk about in a second. They had 12 wins. That difference is crazy.
It is. You can see that
right?
gap.
And so the fact that Gotham was able to overtake the Current is very exciting for what's going to happen against the Orlando Pride, because it feels like there's a lot of opportunity to keep going against a team that I would consider to be on the same level of the Pride. The Pride and Gotham feel like very much on the same level. There's no underdog. It's just going to be who can play the best soccer on tomorrow, who can play the best game.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
No aggregate either, so it's an elimination game, right?
Yes, indeed. And then whoever does it will get to the final against either the Washington Spirit or the Portland Thorns, who are 2 and 3. So, yeah, I mean, and also this game's really special, Gotham Pride, because the Pride are the reigning NWSL champions. They won in 2024, and Gotham won in 2023. So you have the last two winners of the championship going up. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, the Pride were so good last year and so dominant. They started the 2024 season on a record 23-game unbeaten streak before losing right ahead of the playoffs, and then they ended up winning the championship. And this year has been a lot more rocky for them. They have not had as dominant of a season, but they looked really strong in their quarterfinal victory over Seattle Reign. Their midfielder, Haley McCutcheon, I think is how you say her name, returned to her, big, strong playoff scoring ways that she had last year, which she didn't have that great of a year during the regular season. And then there was a lot of strong defensive performance from Emily Sams and some of the other girls on the team. So it felt like there was a lot more going in their favor, which is why this matchup tomorrow is going to be really fun, because they both just came off of really strong quarterfinal wins.
Yeah. Very interesting. Got anything to say, Ari?
Yeah, I was just going to say the other semifinals game with the Washington Spirit, that should also be interesting, because I just saw forward Trinity Rodman's future could be her last game with them. As her contract, she might go overseas and she might be done in the NWSL.
Right.
So there's a lot of good storylines this weekend for sure, and going into the championship.
Very interesting. I feel like a lot of people should tune in for that. I feel like the Women's National Soccer League doesn't get a lot of attention, does it? Not as much.
No, I think when it comes down to women's soccer, it's international play that gets a lot more attention, which is still going on at the same time. CONCACAF, the Cup is still going on. The Gotham ended up winning the first CONCACAF championship in May of this year. And then obviously there's international play. A lot of these women are playing on the U.S. national team. And so they're having to balance both at the same time. And I think international play is a lot more expansive and a lot more people are watching. I know my family does not tune into. I'm personally the only one that tunes into the NWSL, but during the Olympics time, everyone tunes into women's soccer. It's so much fun to watch. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to watch, and I feel like everyone should watch. It's very big.
Definitely.
And also, the 4 teams that made the semifinals are all 4 of the last 4 champions that won.
Yeah,
So
that's super exciting.
That's very interesting.
really big teams, really exciting. But you're so right with Rodman being on this team. She is that standout scorer. But you also have that question of where is she going to go next year? Is this her last year with them? And she also was hurt a lot of this season. But because she sprained an MCL, and she did not play in the quarterfinal. So she's a question for the semifinal tomorrow. And it's going to be whether or not they can make it happen. And I feel like both teams, the Spirit and the Thorns, are struggling with some injuries. So that one will be really interesting to see. Do we want to make some predictions?
Predictions. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say
start it off?
1-1 penalty shootout. Gotham FC comes on top.
I agree. I agree.
I'm going to take Gotham FC 2-0. I think
2-0?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get, I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling it.
Okay.
Feeling daring today.
No, I could see that happening. Now that Berger is back and stronger than before, she was out for a good amount of the end of the season because of an injury. But now that she's back for the semifinal, for obviously the quarterfinal and for the semifinal, she is such a strong goalie, and I do feel like she could do that. But that makes me think if it goes into penalty shootout, Gotham will come out with the win.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of strong goal scorers as well. So, maybe I'll agree with you, and I'll say 1-1 or maybe 2-2, and then penalty shootout. Or a sort of situation of 1-1 or 2-2 going into overtime, and then someone scoring in overtime.
Yeah.
Gotham scoring in overtime. Because they're really good in overtime.
All right. Hopefully it does go Gotham's way.
Yes. And then what about the Spirit and the Thorns? What do you guys think?
I like an underdog story. Let's go Spirit.
The underdog as in the number 2 seed?
Yeah. No, I think Spirit is going to take it. They've showed they've been dominant throughout the season.
Yeah.
Even though they had a rough ending to the season with 2 losses and a draw. I think, always the best team always does come back on top, even though you have a rough stretch towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Spirit 3-1.
What about you, Ari?
I think, like you said, Rodman playing will definitely help, and that'll be a big boost to the Spirit. But they won already in the quarterfinals without her, so I'm going to go Spirit again. I'll say, I don't want to say 2-0 again. I think it will be closer, honestly. I think it'll be like 2-1.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm going to take the Thorns, actually, because they have less injury troubles. The Spirit have more people out. The way they ended their season, I don't feel super strong about. Obviously, they won in the quarterfinals, but they beat the number 7 seed, so I don't have huge stake in that. I think that whether or not Trinity Rodman is back, we don't know yet, but if she is back, they'll have more of a chance, I think, especially on the shooting side. But if she's not back, I do think definitely the Thorns are going to take it, and I'm going to go 2-1 Thorns. And then, who are we saying as our champions?
No bias. Gotham FC takes it all. No, seriously. I think when you beat a first seed like that, you have all the momentum. You have zero pressure on you because, you're the underdog.
Yes.
You have the chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And I just love an underdog story so much. Even though these stories don't always have a good ending, I think I have a good feeling about this, especially since they won 2 years ago. They have the experience. They have the grit that I love in a New York team. I think they will go. It'd be a hard fought, but I feel like they have a good shot at winning it all.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they win this one, which I'm hoping they will, if they win this one, they will. because they'll have that momentum. I mean, we know in sports, momentum is everything.
Yeah.
And if they win this one, they make it to the finals, they will win the finals, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking Gotham FC to win it all.
No bias.
No bias. Gotham
No bias,
FC.
guys.
No
No bias.
Yeah, well, it's been great to talk about soccer with you guys. Women's soccer and international women's soccer has been growing as a whole. I'm actually very excited because I did tune in for the previous Women's World Cup, and I want to tune in for the one in 2027, which will be hosted in Brazil. I'm very excited for that. But unfortunately, we do have to cut to a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about college football and how things are wrapping up and how the college playoff format will be seen.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham Athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
Welcome back to One on One. Some breaking news. Thank you, Derek, for the shout out. Texas A&M, ranked third in the country. They seem to be losing in the second quarter, 20-3 to South Carolina. A team that's 3-6, by the way. I'm actually lost for words. I wish I could have the game on right now. I don't know what's going on exactly since I've been in here with you guys, but that's crazy. What? You see upsets like this, but like not to this extent, and they happen. But like,
do we call this I don't know if this is a huge upset though.
Yeah,
the 3-6
a little bit, but this is also another SEC team that is used to playing SEC teams, right? It's a different. I don't think we can call anything that's within SEC an upset.
It's definitely an upset. I will say, though, it's not. I guess you're right. It is an SEC team. This is what happens in the SEC. It's not huge.
Yeah, Travis, I want something to say.
So, as a Aggie fan most of my life, this is painful. But also, what happened was there was a strip sack immediately right off the gate with, like, not even a minute in, and South Carolina got a touchdown. And since then, they've just kept rolling. They currently have the ball back right now. A&M cannot score on their offensive possession. The Gamecocks defense is playing at a different level right now.
Hopefully they can bounce back. Like, I think maybe, things change at halftime. You come back, you regroup. I mean, if I'm an Aggies fan, I'm just stressing out because this is going to be a massive implication for your ranking. It might even drop you out of the playoff picture if
they drop another game after this too, because this is
a massive loss. Like, this is gonna
really slow their season down for sure.
For sure. And I don't know what their schedule's looking at. I'm trying to find it right now. They play Samford, but then they play Texas in 2 weeks, which is also,
Is that?
I don't know. I have a lot to say about Texas. I have a lot to say about Texas.
Okay.
Interesting.
You want to dive into that now? Because I have so much to say about Texas. Do it. Texas at number 10 is a crime. I don't know why
they should be higher.
They should be lower.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I thought you were,
okay.
No.
Just
they should be.
had to check.
They should be. I was talking to my nephew. He was telling me that they should be unranked, and I didn't even scoff at that because I was like, okay, you have a point there. Unranked is a little harsh.
I don't know about unranked.
Yeah, that's a little harsh.
Because also, when you're looking at records at this point, there are no teams other than Ohio State that is genuinely a team where you're they're unstoppable. Right? Because also there are multiple teams on this, in the top 25 that have 3 losses.
Where would you put Texas at? I'd put 20, 15.
I was going to say 19, 18, 19.
Yeah, what about you, Ari?
I would put them, I feel like they have to be top 15, but I would put them right on the edge.
I'll be between 20 and 15. That's where I'm going to put them. I don't know. They just, you drop games to teams like Florida, and then you're beating up on bad teams, even though they're SEC teams, in OT, you're barely beating them, like teams like Kentucky and Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
They have a big test this weekend, though.
They do a massive game. I think it would be the game of the week.
For sure.
Yes.
Hopefully game of the year, that season opener against Ohio State was extremely disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they can, make up for it here.
Is anyone beating Ohio State ever?
No. I think I have them winning again.
Honestly?
I have them winning again.
Their
Who
schedule
would
hasn't...
you say would beat them?
Okay, this might be a little bit biased.
Yeah.
I think Georgia can beat...
No bias.
I'm so serious.
No
Hear me
bias.
out.
No bias.
If Georgia... I think they can beat Texas this weekend. And I think that pretty much solidifies them as one of the top teams in the nation, especially as an SEC team. With a strong schedule, I think they can beat Ohio State. Look at their schedule. They haven't played anyone.
Oh, yeah, no. Ohio State, besides Texas and Illinois, maybe, and Penn State, but Penn State's a bust. So
and they could still lose to Michigan. Let's not forget that.
Would they lose to Michigan? I don't think so.
We say that every year, and then they do. So,
but I also think last year Michigan was a lot better than they are this year.
That is true. Yeah.
Right, like this year, and 2 years ago, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ohio State's just on another level. They feel unbeatable.
They do feel
Yeah. They're definitely
like,
a tier above
we can
everyone
say,
else.
oh, yeah, like Georgia
Anything
could
can
beat
happen,
them,
though.
Michigan could be. Obviously, anything could happen, but it doesn't feel like anything could happen when you're watching
You're just
them play.
dominant.
Yeah.
And they're making these ranked teams look like they're rag dolls, just throwing them to the side. I mean, obviously, I feel like Kirby's leading a really amazing team, and he's done this in the past. He already has two back-to-back national championships in 21 and 22. I think if this is their day to prove it. Even though Texas is not the strongest team, I think they're not even top 10 like we mentioned earlier. But I think this is going to be a big statement game for Georgia. If they blow them out or it's a close game, hopefully they blow them, for your sake. I hope they blow them out and show, we're to be taken seriously. We're not the number 5 for no reason.
Especially with, like you said, Texas A&M losing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Indiana's in a close game right now.
I was about to say that. It's halftime, 10-7. Wisconsin's also good.
But
They're
one
still
thing
3
about
and
Indiana,
6.
they
No,
struggled
I agree.
against Penn State last week, and the Penn State team that's currently they're lost. You just fire James Franklin.
I love Indiana so much.
Yeah,
I'm
I do too.
such
I
a
love
huge
Mendoza.
fan of them.
Yeah.
I'm
Mendoza's been a
such
dog.
a huge fan of Indiana. So I want them to win so bad.
And I think that really shows what you were saying. Like, Ohio State is in a whole nother tier. I mean, you just look at these top 3 teams. A&M's down. Indiana's barely winning at halftime. But Ohio State is in a different league, I would say, for sure. But I don't know. We'll see what Mendoza can do in the second half. I do really like him. He's one of the Heisman frontrunners, for sure.
Yes.
For sure. Who's your favorite right now? I just want to get that out of the way. Favorite?
I like Ty Simpson. I'm going to be honest. Even as a Georgia fan, I think Ty Simpson's my frontrunner.
All right, Kate?
I don't know. I feel like I agree with that. I don't really have anyone that's a front runner right now.
Yeah, for me, I think it's up
like
in the
it's
air.
kind of a toss up because there's no
is.
one to me that's standing out as that's the guy.
Yeah, last year we had Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter, and those guys are
right.
Yeah. Those. It's either gonna be one of those two is gonna win it.
Exactly.
But this year it's kind of in the air, which kind of sucks. One thing I do want to bring up, speaking about Heisman, it's not really Heisman related, it's more because he was predicted to win it. Arch Manning, I don't hate him because he's struggling. It's because he's put on a pedestal not his fault.
Not his fault.
Yeah.
And he's put on a pedestal before the season started with limited experience. He only started he didn't even start a game last season. He came in every now and then for run options and blowouts. I just don't know why the media or the league as a whole thought he was going to do that good. He has no experience, and I hate to see it because now it's crushing his confidence. He's kind of bouncing back recently. He had a great win against Oklahoma. I think he could bounce back, but I hope he goes to the NFL because it's good to see the Manning bloodline keep going.
How
strong.
long will he have to wait for that?
How
many more seasons does he have to play?
I think it's to stay till his senior
4
season.
years? Yeah, I agree.
Because
this year he has to erase this year from everyone's memories.
Junior year he needs to have a massive step, but if he can't take that, then I think the NFL is not going to be for him.
He definitely needs the development of college, though, for sure.
He
does.
He
should wait as long
it
as
feels
he
like
can.
he's kind of. I don't know. It felt like the development wasn't there last year.
Was not.
That they didn't focus on him.
Yeah.
I don't
in his development, and now that's showing pretty clearly when he's finally playing this year.
I'm not sure if it's probably because they were focused on Quinn Ewers, and they had such a good run last season.
Yeah.
They were like one of the favorites to win the Natty. But you hate to see a quarterback like that because he was so promising coming out of high school. Everyone's like, oh, we want Arch.
Yeah.
Just a shame to see that happen to such a young kid. So talented as well. I don't want to be
Very
talking down
talented.
to him, especially in the run game. The first Manning to ever be able to make a run for it. But I want to move on to a quick recap of last week's games. Alabama versus LSU. I don't think anyone was surprised that Alabama just, beat down on LSU. But I want to go to something more interesting. Wake Forest upsets number 19 Virginia. I was watching that game, and I was in shock at how bad Virginia's offense was. They were failing to capitalize on good drives and collapsing in the red zone completely. And obviously, their defense held us strong, but when you keep on just turning the ball over, punting it,
right,
it's going to lead your defense to be more worn out. That's a given. And you just can't have that. Your energy converts, like the team's down. You could tell like they weren't there. The quarterback wasn't confident. And Wake Forest just capitalized on. They had a beautiful kick off return for a touchdown.
88 yards.
It was beautiful. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. That was like, it was beautiful. Something, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I can't put it into words.
Cinematic.
It was cinematic. It was a cinematic kickoff return. But yeah, do you guys have anything to say about that?
Well, to defend Virginia a little bit, Chandler Morris, their starting quarterback, got hurt in the second quarter. So the rest of that game, they were kind of like down. But that, again, you should have a second QB2 that can come and, produce wins. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it.
Especially for such a strong team, I feel like you would have someone better to like fill in those shoes.
Yeah.
And shout out to I forgot his name, but Wake Forest's quarterback. He was doing great. That he was playing wonderfully on the run. It was such a joy to see him play.
Yeah, and the 16-9, like that's a very low scoring game.
It was fight in the trenches.
One thing that is kind of interesting is, I might be wrong, but Robbie Ashford, Wake Forest quarterback, had 46 yards and they still won, which is just insane. Like,
again, very low scoring game. It's not a lot from either offense.
I mean,
really
he did great running.
There was some running game.
Yeah, he did great running. Like, he was just, I like his play style, and even though I don't watch many Wake Forest games. Like I only watch because Virginia was playing. But overall, very interesting game to catch. Moving on, number 14 Vanderbilt just barely squeaks by a struggling Auburn team in overtime. Again, I managed to catch this game. Auburn put up a fight, and it was a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
I was in shock. I tuned in like towards the end in the fourth quarter. I'm like, Vanderbilt should get this. They're number 14. They're a strong team. They're going to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I was up in shock, especially with an Auburn team. I can't believe, especially such an iconic SEC team. I don't know why they're struggling so much this season, but that is what it is. But Vanderbilt, letting them to score that much is insane to me.
I love Vanderbilt, though. I'm such a huge Vanderbilt. My two favorite teams outside of my Notre Dame team, who is my actual fandom, but outside of my team, I love Indiana and I love Vanderbilt. Those are my two favorites. It's because it's a little bit of like the underdog, but not really an underdog. Well, Vanderbilt, I would consider to be the biggest underdog. They completely transformed their team within the last 2 years. They were a laughingstock in the SEC for the last 20 years. And now they're turning into a real legitimate team.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So this game obviously wasn't what I wanted, but they won.
A win is a win.
A win is a
win. It was very fun to watch, though. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, it's amazing to see the turnaround Vanderbilt has had. And I love Diego Pavia. I mean, can I just read this stat line for a second?
Yes, please.
From the Auburn game? 377 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, then 112 rushing yards, and another rushing touchdown. That's
some
ridiculous.
video game numbers.
Yeah.
Video game numbers.
Literally.
That's me playing college football 26 right there.
That's ridiculous.
And his attitude, I love, too.
Yeah.
Like, his personality, he's such a big leader for the Vanderbilt team. And you can tell he's, like, he wants to fight. He wants to go out there and
That's what makes a quarterback special to me. Their personality and, like, how, I guess, their cadence. Their cadence in a leadership position, because that's what makes a quarterback special. You see that. I'm going to glaze Jackson Dart a bit here. That's kind of what you see in Jackson Dart. That's kind of what you see in a guy named Patrick Mahomes. No, but seriously, and I think he does have a great possibility to make it to the NFL. I think even as a starter, not even a backup. I think he'd be amazing.
I think right now he's looking. I mean, he's up there in the Heisman.
I was gonna say, could he be in the Heisman conversation?
I think he's in
the
conversation.
So.
I think depending on their playoff run too, if they take that into account,
they need to get back into the top.
It is
12.
a very good thing that he took this 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
He did,
because going from last year, he played really well last year, but this year is a completely different game from him too.
Yeah, draft stock's at a record high for him.
But I don't. At the moment, they're not in the playoff conversation.
They're not.
That's what I was gonna
Hopefully,
say. They should be.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely should be. It should be them over a team like USF.
Yeah.
USF
Or Texas.
Texas. That's what I'm saying.
Texas
right there.
Or even Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like Miami. It's all about the U, bro.
But it's also like an ACC team.
ACC is like a weaker conference.
The only like super good team they beat was Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has progressively gotten better each week.
All I'm saying
Unbiased.
is the convicts came on top. The convicts came on top. No, I love you, Miami. I'm not gonna stand for any Miami slander. I'm not. I don't have any connection to it, but my
sister's going there.
Oh.
And. But I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I
you're gonna get a talk.
I can give zero support to Miami at all.
You can't.
Yeah. No.
Speaking about Notre Dame, great win against Navy this previous week. One of my friends actually went there. He told me it was an amazing experience. I'm really jealous of him.
They're up 14-3 right now against Pittsburgh too, which is.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that later. Thanks. No, but now
I'm just looking at the games right now.
Yeah, there are. I don't like that the games are so early now.
Also, Navy 24-9 right now against USF. USF should not be in the playoff conversation.
I think they need to reform the way they do ranking and like just
Well, they love to stick in a team that's like the underdog or like the Cinderella story, but like how are you putting in a team that's being beat by Navy right now?
They're definitely gonna go unranked if they face another loss.
Because they're 24 right now, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Moving on to your Indiana, they barely beat, as I mentioned earlier, an injured and lost Penn State team. They fired James Franklin previously, replaced by Terry Smith. Indiana's kind of getting me concerned. Even though a win is a win at the end of the day, you're currently struggling again against Wisconsin, a team that's unranked. But I'm not going to put them down. They've been a wonderful team.
I was going to say, I don't know if even though they're unranked, Wisconsin is a very strong.
It's still a strong team.
Yes,
I give that to them. But when you're the number 2 ranked team in the nation, you should just be blowing them out. And that's why, again, back to Ohio State. That's why I think they're going to win it again. They're just ragdolling these teams, no matter what. Doesn't matter if they're ranked, unranked. They just lead with dominance.
Yeah, I mean, the Penn State game was definitely not Mendoza's best, or the running game was like okay. Hemby had 55 yards, 108 yards total for running game, and Penn State had 117. So that doesn't look great. And he also only threw for 218 yards, which is much lower than typical for him. So I don't know. It was just like kind of an off game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right.
I think I'm actually on the Ohio State. I'm kind of interested to see the UCLA game. I don't know why. Maybe it just.
You think it's gonna be an upset?
I don't know about
UCLA.
UCLA can upset anyone.
I feel like they're one of those teams, especially this year, who have been kind of like an upset team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they're going to upset them, but I think they will give them a good test tonight. And I think it will be interesting to see. That's a game that I would watch for sure.
If UCLA beats Ohio State, that's crazy because Indiana beat UCLA 56-6.
So then everything would get shaken up.
Everything would get shaken up.
That would be an interesting ranking to see.
And that's Ohio State's only important and Michigan, but other than that, who else are they playing?
I think
Rutgers.
Yeah, I think they're playing Rutgers. So it's like
Rutgers, the pride of New York. Not even New York, Jersey.
New Jersey.
They just. I would say could be a good test night, but it could also. It's like one of those.
It
games,
also could totally just be a blowout.
Just can be a complete blowout.
And that's what I think is gonna happen.
I don't know. I could see it.
I would
like
love to see an upset. I would love to see someone shake Ohio State's
upsets.
in their boots.
I like upsets. They're fun to watch.
Yeah. You got to root for the underdog.
You always have to. moving on to another game tonight. Oklahoma versus Alabama.
Yes.
Big SEC matchup. I'm excited to watch this. I forgot the time it's at, but Alabama's been dominating. Like I mentioned earlier, they beat LSU, even though LSU has been very weak in firing their head coach as well, which he left in a bit of a media circus is the best way to say it. The game today is at 3:30. I don't like these times.
Yeah.
For a massive,
They always have weird times.
you have like such a massive game. This might be like the game of the week. And why are you setting it at 3:30? I want a night game. I want a night game.
Yeah.
That was even worse for the season opener. You have Texas versus Ohio State at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you doing?
Yeah, but then you have Texas and Georgia as the
That's
night game.
And
then you have UCLA and Ohio State as the night game. Oof. And then TCU BYU is the latest game, but that's just because they're Western, so it's a little different.
I don't know. I just feel like the schedule making.
Alabama's taking this one.
Yeah, Alabama.
100%. Sure. And I think it will be
They've
not
been
a blowout because Oklahoma's defense is really strong, but they will absolutely be winning this game. Yeah. Oklahoma's not even in the playoff conversation either at the moment.
Yeah.
They weren't put on the bracket.
Interesting. I feel like they
should be.
Maybe should be, but when you have
Texas
2 losses,
Texas again.
Texas
should not be 10.
I think the main differentiator in this game is just gonna be John Mateer. I love him. I think he was like the Heisman frontrunner coming into the season.
Yeah.
But ever since he broke his hand, he's just been off. Like last
he has
week,
been off.
150 yards passing, interception. That's just not really like. It's not the stats that you're expecting to see from him. And like you said, Oklahoma still has an elite defense. I think that's gonna be the differentiator in this game. It's gonna be a low-scoring game, but Alabama's just gonna score more.
Yeah. I agree.
One thing to bring up, just to troll a bit, Alabama's beaten both of your teams, Vanderbilt and Georgia, and I wouldn't say dominant fashion.
I don't think we can call Vanderbilt my team.
I'm just gonna say it for the sake of it.
But yes, that was sad because I do love Vanderbilt.
But yeah, I'm taking Alabama.
I'm taking Alabama, and I mean Oklahoma should win against Missouri and LSU, so
they should.
They could still maybe possibly. I mean, they'll at least get a bowl.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. If they lose to Alabama, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Which is sad because they've been so good this year.
I mean, speaking about the playoffs, I'm not sure if you guys have the bracket up or the projected bracket. Right now, I'm not liking it whatsoever. Or even though I know you're a Notre Dame fan, I think number 9 is still a little high. Maybe
that's high.
a little low. A little low. Sorry.
Okay.
A little low because even though they had a rough start losing to Miami.
Yeah, I think they've gotten progressively better each game, and when you have a guy like Jeremiah Love, you're not losing.
Yeah, he's been insane this season.
He's so good.
I love him so much.
He'll go.
Love him.
I love him so much.
I love Jeremiah Love.
He'll go top 3 in the draft.
Yeah, for sure.
This year.
I think so.
He has to.
But yeah, well, so from what I'm seeing right here, I'm not sure if it's gonna be the same. You see, oh my God, I'm starting right now. USF versus Georgia. Obviously, I think.
How is USF in this conversation?
It doesn't
biggest USF hater.
No, but
it's justified though.
When
it's justified.
you're 24 out of 25, how are you in the conversation?
After this week, they're gonna be out of that picture, so you don't gotta worry about that.
Yeah, they are losing to Navy.
I'm taking Georgia. Obviously, he's going to take that.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Oregon. That's very interesting. Very, very 2 competitive teams. Oregon has been doing great. I mean, they had a very close
I don't know if Oregon can put it up.
Oregon has been known to disappear in the playoffs.
Oregon's been really good this season. Definitely, they've been phenomenal this season. But can they beat Notre Dame? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think that Indiana-Oregon game just kind of showed me that they can't showed Indiana as like a top team, but it also showed Oregon like they can't really compete with like high level.
They also barely beat Iowa.
Yeah.
It was a close game against Penn State in overtime, and we've seen how bad Penn State has turned out to be. I mean, and other than that, they haven't really played any strong teams. They play USC. They play USC next week, so that honestly will be competition.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. And then they play Washington, which they should win that game.
They should. Another possible matchup, Texas versus Ole Miss. Texas shouldn't be in this picture, but
Ole Miss.
Obviously, easily Ole Miss. I'm trying to picture what it would look like in a world where USF was not in the picture, Texas was not in the picture, Miami wasn't as I think Miami's unjustifiably at 11. I think they should be way lower, like an 18, 19 spot.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting to see. Like,
because they're also not there in the AP poll.
They're not.
They're not up to that level.
It's just a lot of, I don't know. This brings the controversy of like ranking and playoff picture. I like this new playoff format way better than the way it used to be, where you just make a selection.
Yeah.
It's more fair, but it's also it's such a.
But some of it's a little.
It's
still
questionable. It's still questionable. I think there's still a lot of room to improve. I don't like. I mean, do you guys have any ideas? Like, just spitballing. Like, how could you improve upon this? I feel like broken playoff form or system.
It's kind of tough. I know one thing that they're thinking about is expanding it even more, which I don't think they should do. I think 12 is the right number.
12 is the right number.
Yeah, it is.
You can't have too many games. People get bored.
They do.
Because you have to make them
feel
still
meaningless
feel
then. Yeah.
Like playoff games.
Exactly. You have to make it a short period of time.
And you still have your like other bowl games that like people just watch because it's football, but they're not. That's the point of them. They're just bowl games for the fun of it, not because they're gonna actually have a competition for the Natty.
Yeah. Also, if you're gonna put teams like Miami or USF in this bracket, where's BYU?
That's a good. I forgot about BYU. That's a
Where's
great point.
BYU? Why is BYU not here?
BYU
if you're gonna put in an ACC team and then USF, who is 24 out of 25.
BYU ranked number 12. They should have an easy win today. Pretty late, 10-15 against TCU should be an easy. I mean, BYU's been strong.
BYU's been so good.
And, they have a pretty easy schedule looking forward to. The only ranked team they play is Cincinnati. So anything can turn around. Someone can drop. They can move up.
Yep.
Hopefully, I like
this
BYU
current
teams.
bracket is not what I would have expected, though.
Yeah. It could shift, though. There's a lot of time.
It will, and it will shift. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If Oklahoma can beat Bama, they're in this conversation for sure. But at this point, Miami has to get booted.
They have to.
And so does USF. Because they both don't have strong enough they both don't have strong enough seasons to the point where they should be in this conversation.
What's going to happen for you, Miami? I feel like they're going to win their game against NC State today, and then next week Virginia Tech, because Virginia has been they were a very disappointing team. Everyone thought they were going to excel, but they've come short. But their last game of the season against Pittsburgh, I think that's going to be the one to knock them down a peg and say, okay, you guys are not meant for the playoffs this season. Beck is not really amazing.
Yeah,
I love you, Miami, but he's not the guy. He's not it.
Such a fraud.
Yeah.
He's just shown he can't stay composed in the pocket. Especially like he's lost so many not easy games, but games that should be an easy win.
Like SMU. SMU losing in overtime. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just
losing to Louisville when Louisville wasn't ranked at this point.
They were not ranked at that point.
Miami was 2 at this point in October, and then they lost to Louisville.
Yeah. Like even when he played for us at UGA, he makes a lot of bad decisions and bad throws.
Yes.
You have a lot of interceptions there, and you just can't do that if you want to be a successful college football team.
Yeah, you just can't be doing that. Before we wrap up, I know it's very early, but I always have to ask this question because I like to shake the room up a bit. Favorite to win the Natty, or not even favorite. Can I get your favorite and the matchup for the Natty?
Okay. I want to say Notre Dame will be in this conversation, but probably not. Because if they have to play, if we're looking at current bracket, if they have to play OSU in the Rose Bowl, I don't think they can beat OSU in this current team. I'm going to take OSU and Indiana or Texas Tech.
Oof. I was going to say A&M.
A&M's losing right now.
Yeah, they are struggling right now.
Let them come back. You got to have faith. I like an underdog. I want them to become the underdog so then they can come back.
A number 3 team cannot be the underdog.
Yeah, man.
Again, no SEC team except for Vanderbilt.
I
think really truly be named.
Travis, you have something to say? I see you pointing at me in the
Heisman
studio.
candidate Marcel Reed right now. is pretty much playing. He's playing great quarterback play right now. If South Carolina's defense was the offense and his receivers were the DBs, every ball is in the hands of a Carolina receiver and is getting hit out by an A&M receiver. I don't know if he's shaken up from that first play, but as of right now, A&M is looking very shaky. Their quarterback can't put the ball in a single spot.
27-3 now. That's about to be the second half. Yikes.
This is not.
Yeah.
No.
Are your predictions?
I mean, based on how the bracket is right now, as much as I hate to say it, Georgia low-key has a tough run. I mean, if they
have to play
because
Bama,
we have to play
that's a
Bama
hard
and then
one.
most likely Ohio State just to get to the
just
championship.
to get to the championship.
I think you guys could.
I'm so sorry.
You have a
I'm
chance.
so sorry, Georgia.
Yeah, I think we can. It just depends. I'm gonna go. I think
Ohio State. Let's be reasonable here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Georgia, Indiana. I think I have to.
And who's winning? Georgia?
I think Georgia can beat
I
Indiana.
think Georgia can beat Indiana. It's whether or not they can get to the finals.
I think that's the biggest problem. I think if we beat
This
Alabama, we
left
can beat
side
Ohio State.
right now on this bracket is looking a lot more difficult than this right side.
It's so scary. Like first of all, Alabama is just scary for Georgia in general, regardless of how good they are.
And
but then
Ohio State's just scary to everyone
Yeah.
in general.
I will say though, realistically, probably Ohio State, Indiana.
I think it'll be Ohio State, Indiana, and Ohio State will take it.
But I could see Georgia or Alabama, just one of those SEC teams sneaking in
I would
there.
say.
Yes.
I was gonna say Alabama, Indiana.
Right. Because again, when you have SEC teams like Bama and Georgia that are playing hard games every single week, that builds up the difficulty and momentum. And Ohio State isn't playing those difficult teams. If they come off of a big win from Michigan, they might have that momentum to kind of push them. But other than that, it could be hard for them to kind of push past that. So you're right. It could be Georgia or Alabama.
Yeah. Having that bye, too, that could kind of hurt them. That's what I'm kind of counting on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a perfect time to wrap up. For everybody who's into college football or not, you should definitely watch Texas versus Georgia. It's going to be, I think, game of the week. Very interesting to see. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. When we come back from the break, we'll be talking UFC 322 at the Garden tonight.
Hi, I'm Ashley Went, one of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only podcast for all things soccer. From insight from beat reporters for all of New York soccer clubs to breakdowns of all the major leagues and events from the international pitch to right here in the States. Tune in weekly as we discuss all things soccer on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week on FUVFC, a product of WFUV.
Welcome back to One on One. We are moving on to the Octagon. If you guys want to call in, our number is 718-817-2750. Again, 718-817-2750. Moving on to the Octagon and the big cards in the UFC fight tonight that will be hosted in New York's own Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world. I'm going to hand things over to Travis Hayden, as he's the host for WFUV's Pound for Pound podcast and knows all things MMA.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, by the way. Yes, so every November, the UFC always sets the Madison Square Garden. This is something that happens annually, all the time. Legendary events have taken place. Last year, John Jones semi-retired. Alex Pereira won the middleweight and light heavyweight championship the last 2 years. Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor with the double belts, George St. Pierre coming back and winning. It's just an arena over the last 9 years where just history has gone down. And UFC 322 is definitely the most stacked card of the year. We can start from the prelims. There's Roman Kopylov and Gregory Rodriguez, two middleweights that are going at it at the bottom, towards the bottom of the rankings. Two high women's flyweights in Erin Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez fighting for a title shot in the flyweight division, which we'll find out tonight.
That should be definitely interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
We'll be crowning that tonight. Malcolm Wellmaker and Ethan Wang. Malcolm Wellmaker is a big prospect. And Bo Nickel, the two-time All-American wrestler, Penn State, Division I national champion. Anything you could say in wrestling, he has done. Bo Nickel said he is a star, by the way. He lost his last fight to Renier de Ritter. Bo Nickel said he will never be a prelim fighter, but the entire time he's in the UFC.
That's some confidence, man.
Well, today he's a prelim fighter because this is the most stacked card of the year.
It is. So
the first fight of the card is Beneil Dariush, who's been in the game for a long time now. He's still racking up wins. He's coming off a win over Renato Moicano, and he's facing Benoit Saint Denis tonight, who's coming off of his big win against Mauricio Ruffi. These are two guys that have been counted out as of late, especially going into 2025, and are kind of having a little bit of career resurgences coming, which people were not expecting. So this is going to be a fun, exciting matchup in the lightweight division. But the big story, I feel, of UFC 322 is the welterweight division.
Definitely.
The welterweight division, and I will say for next week also, as we have a co-main event of Bilal Muhammad and Ian Gary. Bilal Muhammad is the former champ. We're seeing a lot of motion in the welterweight division this month, and that's what excites me. We're starting it off with Leon Edwards, the former champion. He currently lost his title last year to Bilal Muhammad.
My goat.
And he's facing Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is coming off a win against Jeff Neal back in August, and if you've seen that knockout, it is a spinning back elbow knockout.
Crazy.
It's one of the craziest knockouts you'll ever see, and then it was actually followed by another spinning back elbow.
I remember that. Now that I remember.
Between Lerone Murphy and Aaron Pico. So Carlos Prates is one of the most exciting up-and-coming prospects in the sport. He is 22-7, which is surprising because Leon has been in the game since 2015 in the UFC, and he's 22-5. So it really the records don't even matter sometimes. But again, Leon's the former champ. This is a proving experience for Carlos Prates right here. Leon's last fight against Sean Brady was in London. So his last two fights have been in London, which is in England, which is his home. He had one in London, one in Manchester.
Nice.
And they haven't gone well for him. And I don't know if we will find out tonight whether Leon Edwards has lost his hunger, or if it's Carlos Prates' time, or if the home field advantage just gives him too much nerves.
I think I want to get my predictions a little earlier, but I think Carlos has got this. Even though I love Leon, he was just, I don't know, especially growing up, like when I really got into UFC, he was kind of one of my favorite fighters going in.
Well, how can you not blame it, because he did have the head kick knockout of Kamaru Usman.
He did.
That shocked the world. He was losing that entire fight, as John Anik called, this is not the cloth from which he is cut, and he gets hit with a head kick. Like, Leon Edwards is not content with losing a decision, and he scores the craziest comeback in UFC history. Kamaru Usman was about to tie Anderson Silva's 16-fight record for most winning streaks, and with one head kick, all of that was gone.
Yeah, it's a legendary moment, isn't it?
But I also do believe that Leon has lost the motivation. He's not as hungry anymore. He has been champion. I feel like it could be Carlos Prates' time. We're going to move to the other fight in the welterweight division. Sean Brady, who is coming off his win against Leon Edwards. Very dominant submission victory back in March, is facing Michael Morales, who is coming off his win over Gilbert Burns via knockout over the summer. This is I would say the definitive number one contenders fight for the welterweight championship main event tonight. I think the winner of this fight will get the shot, because Ian Gary has lost to Bilal Muhammad, just lost the belt. Ian Gary lost to Shafkat. Shafkat is still injured. Sean Brady and Michael Morales are still like the new bloods in the division. It's very interesting to see, and it seems like we're actually having active movement in the welterweight division. And the champion they're going to fight, though, we don't know yet, because the main event is Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev.
Big one.
Jack Della Maddalena and Bilal Muhammad was for the welterweight title back in May, was arguably the fight of the year. And I think will go down as my fight of the year. If you watch it, Bilal's defending. Bilal doesn't really have entertaining fights. That was his most entertaining fight I've ever seen. Him and Jack Della put on a masterclass. Bilal was doing good with the wrestling, but Jack Della's striking, and he had better wrestling defense than anybody expected. But tonight he's going against the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. The man that just in January against Renato Moicano broke the record for most lightweight title defenses, Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev has vacated the lightweight championship of the world and is moving up to welterweight to secure his status as an all-time great and secure a second belt.
He's such a legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's one of the faces of the UFC, and kind of bringing this new wave of popularity that's kind of bringing it to a next stage?
I would say Islam. When you look at eras in the UFC, they're not that long. Like an era in the UFC will last a year and a half. The UFC a year and a half ago looks nothing like how the UFC looks today, whatsoever. The only thing that's been constant throughout is that Islam Makhachev has stayed on top. He is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world definitively. And for Jack Della Maddalena, this is I don't want to overlook him because this is huge going into your first title defense, being this big of an underdog, and you're arguably fighting the best fighter in the world. He has a chance to prove something tonight, that Islam's not the best fighter in the world, but that he is, and that he is his time as welterweight champion.
Do you think you'll live up to the moment?
I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Islam is a little bit smaller because he is coming up from 155 and moving up to 170. When you look at the stare down, JDM does look a little bigger, but you never bet against a Dagestani. You never go against. You can never go against what's going on in Dagestan over there.
2-3
years. Forget. Islam is known for just ragdolling people, like having some insane fights. Yeah. He is better striking than Khabib, I think, where people always compare him to Khabib. He's a more well-rounded fighter than Khabib. And it's one of the most interesting things you'll see because Khabib never lost a round except for round 3 against Conor McGregor. Yeah. Khabib's the one man to escape the sport without a scratch on his face. And I think tonight, if Islam Makhachev beats Jack Della Maddalena and wins his second belt, I think that secures his spot as as of right now, the 4th greatest of all time behind John Jones, George St. Pierre, and Demetrius Johnson, with a chance to surpass Demetrius Johnson's legacy and maybe even surpass John Jones and George St. Pierre.
Really? Do you think John Jones is still in the GOAT conversation after, like the questionable, I don't know how to say it.
The ducking
of
Tom
smoke.
Aspinall?
Honestly, I said going into UFC, I was on here going into UFC 321, and I said it on Pound for Pound. John Jones tends to get proven right in scenarios where he says he's ducking, where people say he's ducking somebody, and he ends up not fighting them. They tend to, like, if you look what happened to Aspinall, went like 3 minutes with Gane and was losing that fight. John Jones took care of Gane within 2 minutes by submission. Yeah. It may have been ducking at first, but I feel like John Jones, there's still a chance John Jones could definitely win that fight.
Is he fighting in that card in the White House?
We do not know that yet. That's a little too far away from now.
Yeah, that's like next year, right? In
yeah,
July.
They like to tend to make fights like 3 or 4 months in advance, maybe 3 months in advance at most.
I feel like they're just doing that to get the hype up for the.
Yeah, they're just trying to hype it up. But there's one more. I think Michael Morales, the undefeated prospect, is going to be the number 1 contender after tonight, and he will be taking on Islam Makhachev into 2026 with the Paramount deal for the welterweight championship.
Do you think how's he beating Brady here?
Brady has great wrestling ability, so that is going to be tough. But Michael Morales it's a very big striker versus wrestler. I just could see Sean Brady getting caught in a world. This is a man that has been TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. Granted, it was 3 years ago. It was the same night Islam Makhachev became lightweight champion against Charles Oliveira. So we talk about eras in the sport, like that was probably 2 eras ago. You had the Oliveira, you had Aljamain Sterling on top at that time period. You had a lot of guys you're seeing right now like that are on top that are not on top of the world anymore. And it's just so crazy to think how fighting moves like this, because by a year everything has changed and nothing is the same anymore. Alex Pereira wasn't even champion, but Alex Pereira had not become a champion since when Islam Makhachev won the belt. And now he's a 3-time champion. He's won the belt 3 times. He's won the middleweight once and the light heavyweight twice, and he's defended it as many times as you could think of.
It's crazy to think what he's been doing.
When you look at like football and you have this Patrick Mahomes era that has been in the last 6 years or so, and it's kind of felt like repetitive for the last 6 years, like the Chiefs and everything. When you look at the NFL 6 years ago, or I would say 5 years ago, and you look at it now a little bit, outside of like maybe Brady going and all those guys, it's Mahomes and Allen. It's still Mahomes and Allen still.
Yeah,
they're still the 2 top dogs.
Still running it.
And now you got guys like Drake May coming in.
Yeah. But I think it's because it's the birth of a new era. This like happening and especially this season. I feel like there's like a lot of new teams emerging. But not to get too sidetracked.
The birth of the new era happens every 2 months in the UFC.
Yes.
So we have a couple minutes left, and I want to highlight one more fight before we wrap up. Valentina Shevchenko, the women's flyweight champion of the world, and currently, what number is she? She is the number 1 pound-for-pound women's fighter in the world. is taking on former UFC strawweight champion, moving up a division, the number 2 women's pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Zhang Weili.
She's scary.
It is.
She's actually horrifying. I've seen her fight.
Both of these women fight like no other. And mind you, we talk about eras in this sport. I talk about it. And I said 6 years ago, for example. 6 years ago, they have lost and won back the titles respectively. Zhang Weili has just vacated the strawweight title to move up to have the super fight with Valentina Shevchenko. 6 years ago, Valentina Shevchenko was the women's flyweight champion. 6 years ago, Zhang Weili was the women's strawweight champion. These are women that have been transcending eras.
Is this like very common to see, where you have these kind of players being so consistent for so long? When you see fighters come and go in the UFC, like, is this common, or is this like a one of one kind of thing?
In the women's division, it's tend to have been a little common because Amanda Nunes dominated. She lost, but then she also won the title back, defended it, but then she retired, and now Kayla Harrison's coming in. She's dominating, and Nunes is coming out of retirement. With the women, it is something you tend to see, with them being that dominant. In the new era, it seems like we've moved past long title reigns. Champions are changing so often. Now the UFC has this thing where they don't want to do double champions anymore. So they have to vacate the title, or they have to vacate the title and move up a weight class now.
What do you think about that? I kind of don't. I feel like, I mean, it makes sense on paper.
It's not holding up divisions anymore.
Yeah.
You can't have Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight, I feel, and then Islam also wanting to move up to welterweight. And you just gotta have guys holding belts that are not fighting at the division.
Yeah.
I think we've seen the double champs. It was fun while it happened. We had DC, we had Connor, we had Amanda Nunes, and we had Henry Cejudo. We had guys fail. Max Holloway failed. T.J. Dillashaw failed. Israel Adesanya failed at doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not really. I feel like it's something that is good. Because now look at this. Alexander Volkanovski is now the featherweight champion again. Ilia Topuria is the lightweight champ, and we might have Islam Makhachev as the welterweight champion. And with those three as champion, those are definitively who I feel should represent the UFC in this era is Alexander Volkanovski, Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev. But and Hamzat Chimaev as well. But I feel like if Jack Della Maddalena gives a win, that man has a personality. His star is through the roof. But moving on to the women's fight. Valentina has beaten everybody at flyweight. Zhang Weili has beaten everybody at strawweight except for Rose, even though she's at flyweight now. These two women have cleared out their entire division, that the only thing left is for those two to fight. And that's what I'm so excited. This is going to be...
I'm definitely going to tune in tonight.
Yeah.
Arguably the two most skilled women's fighters in the world are going at it in the co-main event. And again, Tracy Cortez and Erin Blanchfield are on the prelims. Erin Blanchfield is currently number 9. That's in the pound for pound. Sorry. Erin Blanchfield is currently number 4, while Tracy Cortez is currently number 8. So, and considering the fact that Valentina has cleared out almost everybody except for Natalia Silva, this will be one of those fights that everybody needs to tune in for. If you're a fan of women's sports, you should be watching this fight, because this is going to be women's sports at the highest of levels.
I think if you're a fan of any sport, you should tune in, because this is just like history. I feel like this, you mentioned in the beginning, the Garden is built for moments like this, hosting historical moments, and we've seen it in every sport, not only in MMA, and we're gonna see it again tonight. It's just
I think so. It's become an annual tradition that I look forward to way too much now.
And have you been to the Garden, not inside of it but outside, especially during the MMA UFC fights, cards? It's electric. I love it.
And we got a big weekend for combat sports at the Garden. Big week for combat sports at the Garden as well. On Monday, John Cena is currently having his last time ever on Monday Night Raw. It is his last appearance. He will have his last match at Madison Square Garden for Monday Night Raw. He retires next month on December 13th.
What a legend. Has it really been that long?
John Cena has 3 more matches left.
That's crazy.
And his final Monday Night Raw is this Monday at MSG.
I feel old. I feel old thinking about that. You know, when you're a kid, you see him, you're like, oh, he's never going to retire. He's like a legend. You just that never runs through your head, and now you see it happening.
Yeah, that is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Travis, before we wrap up, I wanted to ask an interesting question. What was your favorite part of the show today from coming in the studio and kind of looking in on us?
I thought you guys had great demeanor. I will say NFL talk I thought was the best part of the show. Combat sports section, we're gonna also give our flowers to Drake, May.
In May.
We have to give it up for Drake May.
Drake May. I love Drake May. I think everyone loves Drake May.
Who doesn't love Drake
I
May?
hate the Patriots. I love Drake May.
Exactly. But I think that's a perfect time to wrap up for today. Thank you, Travis, for coming in. And thank you to my wonderful crew, everybody. Kate Kotz, Ari Patel. Thank you again to you, Travis. You've been amazing for coming, video producing, coming into the studio, talking with us. Shout out to our radio producer, Derek Bollier. I got you, Derek. I actually pronounced it again twice. In the studio, behind the boards. Shout out to our sports director, Bobby Chaffardini. I'm Luis Andrade. This has been 1-on-1, New York's longest running sports call-in show. 1-on-1 is a production of WFUV Sports.